This is a Headgum podcast.
We're blazing new trails. No one has ever done what we're doing. We are bringing barbecue across the country. This hyperbolic bluster, typical of the asshole executive class, is proudly trumpeted by chain restaurant kingpin Roland Dickey Jr. on his own website. The current steward of his family's eponymous smoked meats chain, Dickey Jr. made the remarks in a 2010 interview with D CEO magazine. Surprisingly, the D stands for Dallas, not douchebag, in which the Nepo baby, back ribs, executive also promised, quote, world domination, one store at a time. Founded in Dallas in 1941 by Roland's grandfather Travis Dickey, a World War I veteran who actually worked at least a single day in his life, the family business is the oldest still operating restaurant in Texas's largest city. And for the vast majority of its existence, the company seemed content being exactly that. It didn't begin franchising until 1994, and when Roland took the reins in 2006, it had just 20 area restaurants. But the young Dickey Jr. insisted on a strategy of aggressive worldwide expansion, opening dozens of new franchises across the continent every year, peaking at 564 in 2017. However, as rapidly as it grew, the balloon deflated. The very next year, 2018, 113 of those locations shuttered. And it's only gotten worse since the pandemic. According to a December 2024 piece in Restaurant Business by Jonathan Mays, quote, 28% of the chain stores have closed just in the past 18 months. An attorney representing jilted franchise owners has an even more dire assessment in that same article, quote, 70 to 80% are shutting down. With the company hemorrhaging money and franchisees declaring bankruptcy en masse, it's worth highlighting another quote from Roland Dickey Jr.'s DCEO profile that's notably omitted from his website. Quote, a company is either growing or shrinking. Due to Roland's hubristic mismanagement of his family's historic brand, it's pretty clear that it's shrinking. This week on Doughboys, Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Welcome to Doughboys, the podcast about chain restaurants. I'm Tiger Weiger, along with my co-host, Nutty Buddy Young Jr., a.k.a. Mr. Saturday Bite, the Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell.
Nutty, can you say it again?
Nutty Buddy Young Jr., a.k.a. Mr. Saturday Bite.
Nutty Buddy Young Jr.?
Nutty Buddy Young Jr., a.k.a. Mr. Saturday Bite, a Mr. Saturday Night reference.
What is his name in the movie though? It's
I think I'm
Buddy,
realizing
Buddy
it's got to be Buddy Young. I've never seen it.
It's Buddy Young.
I've never seen Mr. Saturday Night. Casey, you ever seen Mr. Saturday Night?
I have not.
No.
Nutty Buddy Young Jr. Nutty Buddy Young Jr.,
a.k.a. Mr. Saturday Bite. Hey, Dough fam, just wanted to pay homage to Billy Crystal as his presence has loomed large in this year's tournament. Congrats on another thrilling Munch Madness, and sorry about Susser. God bless you all, and God bless Billy Crystal, Kevtron in the Dough Squad, roastedbirdfuck.com.
Billy Crystal, how you doing, our friend?
I'm glad you're not doing blackface anymore.
It was a different time, like 1995 or whatever.
No,
when I was 10 years old, yeah.
Actually, incorrect. There was a Sloppy Boys episode with Tom Sharpling.
Yeah,
and he said, "When do you think of the last time he did?" Because what's the character? Who was the character? Who was the? It was
Sammy
Davis
Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. They said, when do you think of the last time you did it? And the answer was 2012.
2012.
Yes.
Barack Obama is in office.
Second term.
Second
wow.
term. Yeah. I believe it is. I think it is like Obama
That's
presidency.
wild.
I think 2012 is the answer. Insane. But we loved it. We were laughing. We had Sammy Davis.
I now want to see if I can't actually reach out to the former president and ask him, did you know that when you were in office, Billy Crystal was still doing blackface? Just to see how he reacts. This is like a legitimate thing I could probably manage.
Wow.
Please do.
Oh, man. He's right now is at Netflix producing the Billy Crystal Sammy Davis Jr.
I'm finishing my email to my doctor. I'm sending it right now.
Great.
Hog transplant.
Like dog, we were talking Dog Man in the beginning.
We were talking Dog Man, which
Dogman,
we
yeah.
haven't seen, but our guest has seen. But Dog Man seems Cronenberg-esque, my understanding of what the lore of it is. A man's head is removed, and then a dog's head is put in its place, and the man just goes away.
And the man just goes away. His hog doesn't, though. I mean, that's...
He has a dog with a human hog, so...
Is that the truth?
I mean, I think it's implied.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird to think about.
The other dogs would be like, it's not red. Like, they'd be like whispering to each other. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I wonder, has Jemmy seen Dog Man?
No, she has not.
We got to take her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to take her. Can we take her to the movie theater?
You know, I've never tried. Why not? Let's try it out.
A dog-friendly movie theater could be fun, like to do a special,
that would be fun.
special
That would
show
be
or
fun.
something.
I feel like you'll never see a movie quietly.
Yeah,
if you've got
right.
a bunch of dogs and like she's a quiet dog, but most dogs don't do what she does.
Sure, yeah.
Have you seen the things where it's like service dogs and they're training them to like? I think it was a clip. It was in Canada, but they were training like Canadian service dogs to be quiet through like an orchestra performance.
That's part of their training is they have to sit through an entire theater performance, and there's like pictures of like theaters, and all the seats are just filled with like puppies, just like or dogs just like sitting there watching, and they have to sit through the whole performance quietly. That's like part of their training.
That's adorable.
It's so cute.
I wonder what it must feel like. Is it like a live performance or just like a recording?
I don't know. That's a good question because like, what would it feel like if you're the performer that's hired to come perform for an
they don't
audience
tell you
full of
beforehand.
dogs?
You just show up and like, this is the audience. A bunch
I
of
would love
dogs.
that as like a performer. That'd be awesome. So cute.
Oh man, we're doing our live production of Dog Man. This is gonna tank.
It's what Lydia Tarr's up to these days.
It's conducting for dog audiences, playing the soundtrack from Monster Hunter. Mitch, I know you got a drop.
Yes, Emma, hit him with the drop.
Go get him, tiger. Harder, harder, go get him, tiger. Harder, harder, go get him, tiger. Harder, harder, go get him, tiger. Harder, harder.
Tiger now, tiger now, tiger now. I'm tiger now. Tiger now, tiger now, tiger now. I'm tiger now.
Were we hearing some of the High and Mighty theme in there?
I
Was
don't
mixed
know
in a little
what
bit?
that was.
Sounded
It sounded
like it.
very similar
We got
to it.
DCMA
It
for the High and Mighty.
Yeah, Gators is gonna come for us.
Hi, Doughboys and crew. Nick is Tiger now.
That's right.
Regards, Brent, New Hampshire. Regards, Brent, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. What's
Thanks,
up?
Brent.
The south of the north, as they call it.
That's what they call it.
I would say that's true.
It's very true.
It's pretty accurate.
That has been my experience.
Yeah. The Trump and "Don't tread on me" signs as soon as you cross over are
Gotta have a Gadsden flag in the yard if you're in New Hampshire. It's like a requirement.
It's an interesting, and they hate Taxachusetts, as they call us.
Yes, I live for your die, no sales tax, no seatbelts.
Yeah. I said "Don't tread on me," which is also, I mean,
I'm sure
also
there's
believable,
there's
but I
some of
meant
that, too.
"Live free or die," which is that is the state. That's the state motto, right?
Yep,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Bad
They
move.
tried to change it years ago to just live free, and they got very mad. And they were like, no, it's live free or die.
Bad movie, but great title. The fourth Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Live Free or
Yeah,
Die
Free or Die
Hard.
"Live
Hard.
free or die hard"
Yeah,
is a
It's
great.
fucking good.
Yeah.
It made me like the movie like a half star more. It's just such a good title.
It is. Now you're thinking in letterbox terms.
Yeah.
It makes me sad that poor Bruce Willis, who has health issues, but it makes me sad that we never saw like another reboot of Die Hard, because they would have. And I'm like, I feel like the second reboot they maybe would have done better than the last one. You know what I mean?
You're saying they would have done some sort of requel. They would have done some like Die Hard: A New Legacy, and it would have been like a proper
Actually,
John McClane movie.
It would have been bad. I take it back already. It would have been like John McClane would have been sad and like, you know, his divorced, and then he would have died at the end of it. That's like that. That's the requel.
It might have been like a sad sack sort of like Indy 5 sort of treatment.
The requel equation is that the person is sad and then they die or someone they like
Yeah,
dies.
they've been robbed of their victory at the end of the previous movie. They just like they're miserable, they're lonely.
It happens so much. I don't understand. I don't want to see sad Indiana Jones.
Right.
Why?
We could have a scene with John McClane on like a gravesite. He's like weeping to Hans Gruber, like everyone I ever knew was dead.
Didn't you kill that guy? Don't worry about it. Dropsandbirdfuck.com. Mitch, very, very excited to get today's guest in studio here at Headgum, a columnist for the New York Times and co-host of the podcast Unclear and Present Danger, Jamelle Bouie. Hi, Jamelle. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you guys for having me.
What a treat. You're in LA briefly. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Happy to.
Always a treat to have you on the show. I don't want to make you talk politics. I know that's not why you're here, but what's going on?
I mean, I don't know. The country's collapsing. I don't know what to tell you. I keep joking with my wife. She does not like this joke.
Yeah.
I keep saying, the odds of me getting a rendition to an El Salvadorian prison have just gone up a couple percentage points. The next time
Terrifying.
Trump... Just like I'm laughing about it, but like the next time he says New York Times is fake news, it's like, well, am I gonna open the door one day and like some ICE agent will be like,
just a quick aside. Jemmy just farted on my leg. I felt the vibration.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't smell anything, luckily.
Okay, good.
But off to El Salvador with Jemmy. She's going through.
Gone. Chip her right out.
Look, I'm going to admit this right off the bat. Voter regret. I got voter regret.
Well, I was. It's funny to hear you say that because I wanted to congratulate you for the pardon you got earlier this year.
I would have been in for a long time. I got lucky. That was the first sign that things were probably not great.
Yeah, it happened on day one.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. It's like day one, like hour one. Jan 6, guys, you're free now.
Yes, yeah. He should have reinstated Jimmy Pesto. He should have been put back in the.
I'd love to have Jimmy. Like if part of it was Jimmy Pesto is coming back on Bob's Burgers, then it'd be like, all right, okay,
last part of the executive order. Yeah.
We're doing another story of the story of Everest sketch. Okay, all right.
I feel like whoever we elect, hopefully. A Democrat who wins in the next, in 3 years or whatever.
Maybe a certain podcast host, Draft Mitch.
Wait a minute, me?
Yeah. I'm hearing Draft Mitch coming around.
Which side am I running on again? I could not be president, and I admit that, but anyone can be president.
I mean, anyone can be president.
Anyone can be president.
Quite literally.
Anyone can be president.
It's not a big leap from like host of The Apprentice to host of Doughboys.
No, you're right.
It's like 2 rungs on the ladder away.
Can I clean up my act in 3 and no, whatever. We'll see what happens.
You don't got to clean up your act.
All right, what are you talking about?
All right. If someone goes to jail for doing something to a Tesla, like they should, whatever Democratic president comes in, they should what's it called? You just said that they should let them free. They should what is it called?
Pardon?
They should pardon. Jesus Christ.
Are you okay?
I'm nervous. I can't. I'm gonna sound dumb no matter what. But I'm saying they should pardon people who fucked up Teslas should be pardoned if there's a Democratic president, right?
Is that what you're emailing your doctor about?
That I'm nervous.
I'm worried I'm going to sound dumb on the podcast.
And it's just like, I'm sure that whoever gets elected will be like, I'm not going to do that, or I'm sure it won't happen. But they should be pardoned.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they should be pardoned. We should be throwing people in jail. I've gotten very militant about this. Like, next Democratic president, we got to arrest Elon Musk, throw him into jail. If there are, this is, I think I'm quite serious about. If there are any American residents in that El Salvadoran gulag, in 3 or 4 years, we're going to invade El Salvador and get them back.
Yeah. I love that.
We should do a Manuel Noriega on those people and send the United States military in, and we got to have them back.
Yeah, I agree.
It's grim times, but like in lighter news and on a funner topic. I know you're big.
I want to quickly say a thing that's making me feel sane is watching your Instagram videos.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Jamelle will just bring you bring sanity to the world, and it's grounding to watch things like that. And I was saying, instead of looking at X, which I don't post on anymore, but I haven't deleted it, and I'll look and be, my jaw will hit the floor by the way people act now. And then watching something like your posts make me feel so much better.
Yeah, obviously doing great work in print, but on video as well. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been trying to do a balance of like informed stuff and then like a minute-long video where I call JD Vance a pig man. which someone remixed into a song, which is a lot of fun.
I'm going to play that drop.
You know what? You're an offense to pigmen, JD Vance. There's some good pigmen, right, Wags?
Yeah. Gamorrean guards, good pigmen. Porco Rosso, good pigman.
Porco Rosso. Who else? Rocksteady? Or Bebop, right? Bebop, sorry.
Yeah. Bebop is the pig.
Yeah.
What do you call him? It's Rocksteady, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay. I also I don't know if you watched the John Oliver thing that they did last. John Oliver I like watching a lot too.
Yeah.
He did a great thing on trans athletes in sports, and it was fantastic. There's just a plug. If you want to
check
watch
out John Oliver
on HBO, on Max, if you want to check it out, it's great. And there's some things that make me feel more normal, and you're one of them. So thank you. Yeah.
I know you're a big movie guy. Obviously, you talk about a lot of political thrillers on Unclear and Present Danger. You got a family. It's a little bit tougher to go out to the theater. But have you seen any movies in 2025 that you've enjoyed?
I've not been able to get to the movies. The only movie I've seen in theaters this year is Dogman.
Dogman? Wow.
But I haven't had a chance to go see anything that I would like to see.
Yeah.
We did watch when it got on streaming Conclave.
Oh yeah,
which
Conclave's
I loved.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. And I got they released a 4K Blu-ray of To Live and Die in L.A.
Okay.
Which I had never seen before, and I watched that not long ago, and was like in love with that.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Mulaney uses it as his theme song. The who is it? Wham. Wang Chung.
Yeah, Wang Chung.
Wang Chung. Yeah. Great song in the beginning of that movie. Have you seen it ever? No.
No, I've never seen it.
You'd like it.
It's good.
It's wild. It's great.
It's a wild one.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
I gotta watch it.
Now
you get to see William Peterson's Hog.
He's
watching
in.
it tonight.
Yeah.
We went and I saw 1900 with Neil Campbell, where you get to see Robert De Niro and
Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah,
they both hang hog.
They hang hog, and they get the skiing, I guess you could say. They get masturbated at the same time.
I was really trying to. I was like, I think that's where he's going, but I'm not entirely certain.
It is it's a 6-hour-long movie.
Yeah,
I saw it with Neil Campbell. But also it's funny. It's like a 6-hour-long movie, but the last 45 minutes is like where you're like, all right, enough of it. But there's a lot of great stuff in there. You've never seen that before?
No, Bernardo Bertolucci film, 6 hours. Never seen it. No, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I just saw for the first time. I can't remember if I said it on the podcast, but I just saw Late Spring, the Ozu film.
Oh right,
yeah, I had a rep screening of that, and I was like, I'd never seen it before. The only Ozu I'd seen is Tokyo Story, which is obviously a masterpiece, but it's like I was like, this is fucking good. This is just, and just saw it in a theater, just like an absolutely locked in crowd. It was great. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that so it's one nice thing about
Isn't
LA.
Is Ozu? I know it's his last name, but is it a flavor too, or am I making that
You're
up?
thinking of yuzu? Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking of.
Hashtag draft Mitch.
I mean that's relatable to ordinary people in the heartland. They don't know what they don't know what yuzu is.
They don't know what yuzu is. Is it a flavor? Is it a director? Who knows? The people in the heartland are going to love me. Everywhere else, maybe not as much, but we'll see.
Wait, speaking of movies, Casey, you just got bagged. You saw Black Bag.
I finally got bagged.
What'd you think?
It was great.
A lot of fun.
Fun ride.
You like Presents more though, the recent Soderbergh.
You came in kind of being like, it seemed like you weren't liking, or you kind of were like trying to let us down or something.
No. That was not my intention.
Okay.
I just know you guys were big on the bag, and I think I'm bigger on Presents. Between the
completely
two
fair.
Brand new Soderbergh.
Enjoyed both films.
I enjoyed both quite a bit. 2 in a year. This movie year I think is turning out to be a lot better.
It's looking up so far. Mickey 17, a lot of fun.
Apparently the new Coogler is pretty good.
Greg Sinners is good.
Oh, Sinners. Yes. Yeah. I'm excited to see Sinners. Is it or next weekend?
Next weekend.
Dogman, would you classify ACAB, all cops are bastards?
Sure, right.
Where does Dogman fall in that?
I mean, he seems like a good, competent cop, not too violent, but also ACAB. Unfortunately, he's part of an oppressive system.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Hey, Dag. Yeah.
I know you're an avid home cook. You're cooking for a family. Obviously, you got kids' palates to account for. But any new dishes in the rotation? What are your
dishes?
What's your kind of like regular sort of meal routine?
Dishes in the rotation.
I feel like sometimes you get into I've started making this this one pot like miso pasta I didn't used to make and this has become a go-to for me or whatever.
All right.
Like sometimes that happens.
Usually, my kids actually have a pretty decent palate for being kids. We can do a lot of things. Often, like a meal I will make in general is going to be there'll be a grain, there'll be like a legume or something, and then like some other protein or a vegetable or whatnot. But I can't think of anything that's been new in the rotation other than what's new. This is going to sound very fancy, but it's not. It's just like a white bean gratin. I don't know how to say that.
I think maybe
potato gratin.
Yeah, gratin. Okay,
I don't know if that's
white bean gratin. That's just sort of like caramelized fennel and celery and garlic and white beans and some cheese, and then you bake it with breadcrumbs. And the kids really like it, and it's really good.
Gratin, too close to rotten for whoever named that, however long ago. Too close to sounding like rotten.
The French fucked up.
The French did fuck up. We were talking about this earlier. Because we're gonna do a snack or whack, not today, but in a future episode, and they're macarons,
macarons, which are and then macaroons.
I think I've only ever known macaroons. I was saying this in the well, there's three there, and then there's
French President Emmanuel Macron.
Yes, yeah. Which Amelia said that she was at a bakery and it said to specify between the three.
The three, yeah.
And the third turned out to be the French president.
They just had a picture of the president's face and said, "Do not order this."
That's funny. But I didn't know. I think I had only ever known of macaroons. I don't even really know Macron. Macarons.
Macarons?
Macarons.
It's macarons, right?
Yeah, it's
macarons.
Well, there's Jesus Christ. There's macarons.
Those are the sandwiches.
Those are the sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yes. That's lots of colors and flavors.
Macarons.
There's macaroons.
Those are coconut guys.
Yes, coconut guys.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's, of course, the leader of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron.
Okay,
yeah, right.
Macron.
Yeah.
I think I only knew macaroons existed of the bunch. Or fuck it. I'm not going to try this again.
Mitch only knew Macron.
I only knew Macron.
Only aware.
I only knew. Look, is this? We're clearly the dumbest people you've spoken to this whole trip, right?
Not at all.
Oh wow. That's nice. I've got brain fog going on today, Wags.
You're doing great.
I got 99% on my CPAP machine. I got a 99% score last night, which is pretty good. But for me, it's still pretty, I'm still operating at like 48% of a normal human being. But 99 Wags last night, a good REM sleep. So,
how many French Republics are we up to now? I'm looking at Macron's. We're on the fifth one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's almost kind of unfair to the French at this point because the joke is like they can't figure it out, but they've been on the fifth for like 50 years, 60 years.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Are you looking at French Republics?
I'm looking at Emmanuel Macron's Wikipedia page, okay? And I'm realizing I was thinking of a different guy. I was thinking of the guy before Macron.
You were thinking of
this guy.
Who was before Macron?
Was it Sarkozy?
Was Sarkozy. Yeah,
Sarkozy. Someone with a semi-similar name.
That's the face I was picturing.
That's Macron. Okay, so you were Macron's looking good.
The email over there.
Let me close this other tab for this Steam dating app. There we go. It's a dating sim. It's not an app.
Can I tell you who I was thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were thinking of Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely Mr. Bean was not ever in charge.
He never was in charge. Did he ever go to France?
Maybe in one of the Bean movies, he ascended to the French presidency, and there were some pratfalls as a result. But I don't know specifically if that's happened.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it would be funny. You think about Mr. Bean being president of France, it'd be pretty funny.
It'd be very funny.
Because they'd be all stuffy about it, and they'd have all their parliamentary procedure and all their pomp and circumstance, and he'd be tripping over something.
And he could have a big baguette sticking out of his
mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, make Mr. Bean president of the United States,
Why not?
Why not?
It'd be pretty good.
He seems like a pretty intelligent man when he's not being Bean.
Is the real life actor? Is he a Brexiter?
Rowan Atkinson.
Is Rowan Atkinson a Brexiter?
I just basically assume
after we just commended him on being.
I basically assume every British celebrity has the worst politics imaginable. Yeah. It has seemed to be the pattern.
No, I don't think he's. I'm thinking of Martin Freeman.
Okay.
Bilbo. Yeah.
Bilbo, not Bilbo.
I think Bilbo is
wow.
Britain for the British.
Bilbo is a Brexiter?
Is Bilbo a Brexiter?
Are you binging this?
I'm binging it. Let's see what happens.
Oh my god.
No, Bilbo Baggins is not a Brexiter. Bilbo is a fictional character from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit.
Okay, well that's good. That's
good. Great.
Is that the AI overview?
Yeah. It's a. I just try not to dig into that at all. I feel like anytime I know anything about a celebrity's politics, I regret it. It's almost never good, right?
Right. Yeah, that was like when I found out. Was it Marion Cotillard is like a 9/11 truther or something?
Oh boy, I didn't know that.
God.
I don't want to say that, and then I'm like libeling someone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So maybe she is.
Yeah. Parody, fair use.
Yeah, fair use.
Yeah.
But I found out something like that she was a conspiracy theorist, and I was like, yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah,
it's too bad.
Mitch, what are you looking up?
I'm looking up to see if he's. It seems like there is a controversy around Martin Freeman, who is Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah.
It seems like he might be a Brexiter.
Oh boy.
But look,
that worked out great.
It worked out great.
Look,
he carried the ring for a long time
right now.
The ring changes a man. That's what happened.
All right, so you're out in LA for a brief stretch. I'm not someone who loves to travel. I imagine you travel a fair amount. When you're on an airplane or you're at the airport, like what is your flight food routine?
My flight food routine. It kind of depends on when I'm flying and which airport I'm flying into.
Right.
Like so, where I live in Charlottesville, the connections for me are either to LaGuardia or to Atlanta. If I'm flying really early in the morning, I don't usually eat breakfast until like 9 or 9:30, and so when I land, I'll usually just like grab something like a Fairlife protein shake or something from a store. If I am really hungry, I will sit down for a meal somewhere. At LaGuardia, which has recently been renovated, they have like actual legitimate like food options. So I will sit down for a meal. In Atlanta, if I have like time between a connection. There's like in the terminal that I usually end up in, there's like a place that does a pretty decent breakfast. And so that's typically the case. If it's at any time away from meal times, I actually don't really eat. Maybe I'll carry some snacks on me. The thing about having two kids is there's just a ton of goddamn snacks in my house. So I can just like put a couple things in my bag. And I'll have a snack, I'll have a bottle of water, but like I try not to eat when I'm flying.
Wow.
Speaking of flying and kids, do you ever do the airplane with your kids? You know what I mean? Like, do you ever like, here comes the airplane? Is that a thing that parents still do?
I've never done that with my children.
Wow.
I'm also not a whimsical person, so so maybe parents do it. But one time I tried to feed my youngest like something by hand, like there was a cupcake, and she bit my finger.
Oh my god!
Wow.
So and like bit my finger hard. Like if you don't stop biting my finger, I might lose this finger.
Dear Lord.
So I don't do that anymore. Did it once.
Wow.
Dear Lord.
She's a very aggressive little girl. Very. Yeah.
The thing about like Mitch and I have gotten into this before about like travel and food, specifically airplanes and food. I feel like I have to have a meal before I get on a plane.
We got into a very big fight.
We don't need to relitigate this.
Also, just to be clear, I was feeding Wags like an airplane.
Oh,
and he bit the shit out of my finger.
Wags is like,
We got into a big fight about how we have different schedules.
Yes. I would just say, like,
so you wake up at 5 a.m. I'm sorry.
I tend to wake up pretty early, but like I feel like I have to eat something before I get on a plane because I just feel so fatigued otherwise, and also I make really poor decisions. Even if I'm eating some relative garbage at a terminal, it's going to be, or in an airport lounge, it's going to be better than what I can get on a plane.
Yeah, you need some brain food before you get on a flight, because with the Doughboys, you're the one who's almost missed flights multiple times.
I missed one flight.
And you almost missed the second. Big
time. But okay, fine. I missed one flight and I almost missed a second. Who cares?
You make me nervous on flight day. You do. Because it seems like a guy who like also doesn't care to miss it.
Let me tell you, with this haircut, I make a lot of people nervous on flight day.
No shit. Timothy McWay.
My big thing is I get very anxious about flying. I get claustrophobic on planes. It's less so the fear of, aviation disaster, although that's obviously like a thing to worry about now.
I mean, yeah, they took away all the woke and now planes fall out the sky.
But also it's like for me more so it's just like I feel like I'm trapped, and so I don't know, for whatever reason I feel like if I have an empty stomach that's even worse. So I have to like consider that. But yeah,
I don't really feel anxiety on planes, and I know there was this thing like 6 months ago where people were like raw dogging flights. Not doing anything on a flight. But I will say that's sort of just like my natural state on a plane. Like I can just sort of sit there and kind of like daydream and not worry about it.
I love to sit there. People get on me for listening to like nothing when I'm like in a car. But it's like, hey, you just let your brain go to work. I don't know.
That to me is weirder, but on a plane I can just sit there and do nothing. I mean, I'll put on headphones and fall asleep. But I don't need really anything at all. Driving, I like to listen to things.
Driving, I can only listen to music. I can't do audiobooks. I can't do podcasts because then I will fall asleep.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, hearing people talk while I'm driving will put me right to sleep.
Yes, I'm a music in my car guy basically only.
But I can't do it with other people in the car with my kids.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids.
Wait, have you done a Waymo while you were out here?
No.
Waymo is an interesting experience. I'd be curious about your take on it because it's like, it's the automated cars obviously, but they've been testing it in parts of LA, and it may possibly where you're staying. I'm not sure what neighborhoods it overlaps with, but it's like I've witnessed this. I witnessed this actually with my parents recently. The experience of people being like, I'm never getting in one of those. And then like, all right, let's try one ride in it. And then after like, oh, this is actually kind of nice. It's a weird, like you don't want to give tech people any credit, but this is one thing where it's like, fuck, this is they kind of figured it out. It feels, I guess it's statistically safer than an Uber and also feels safer than an Uber, which is huge from like a user experience.
They're taking away from humans. Paying human beings. And the bad thing is that they're cheaper right now, but at some point they just will be.
Yeah, they'll jack the prices up when they take over the market, of course.
Yeah. We're flying we're going on tour, and so we're flying soon, and I am kind of nervous about flying. And
we're flying Waymo Air, so that'll be
Turns out woke floats, like you were saying. Woke floats.
I was after there was the really unfortunate accident at the DC airport.
Yeah.
And the next day I was flying home from a trip.
Oh, my God.
And so flying Delta, in fact, the same kind of plane that went down.
Right.
So we get safely to Charlottesville, and as we land, and before they let us off, the captain is like, I just wanted to say that we at Delta take your safety very seriously, and we were really making sure that we would get you guys home today. And I was like, why did you tell me that? Like, why? I don't need this reassurance. I'm home safely. This just makes me think that we almost fell out of the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. I went to Arkansas. Right? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, the old Billy's home.
Yeah.
Right.
And what do you want me to do? I'm not.
No, I don't. Sometimes Bill Clinton said when you showed up. I don't know. Be interested. Be curious. Obviously, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
He's on Epstein Island these days.
Yeah.
That's where he resides.
He was. I saw him when we were landing. I saw him on the tarmac, looking at his watch, waiting for the Lolita Express. Where the hell is it? He still takes it, which I feel like is a bad move.
Yeah,
after
not
everything.
A great look.
Yeah. A friend of mine was in New York and sent a picture of their mom in front of Epstein's mansion in New York.
Oh man,
I know. I was like, oh, that's pretty dark, but I did kind of love it. And if we're New York wise, I think we must visit. But I like the same thing in Arkansas. I was like, it feels like I feel like with a smaller state, the chances of falling out of the sky feel greater or something like that. But we're really going to fly into New York City or to DC, so we should be okay, even though that's where the accident happened.
Statistically, we'll be fine. That is not necessarily going to help my anxiety. I understand that intellectually, but you can't like outwit your hippocampus. You know, you're just like if you're fucking nervous, you're going to be nervous. Well, it'll be fine. I'll take some drugs.
If it is the case that what's happening is they took away the woke and the DEI and the plane stopped flying, then you just have to hope you get on the soul plane, you know? You gotta hope.
I would love to be on the soul plane. That would be a fucking blast.
Dream. Yeah. Plane looks like a riot. Having a blast on that thing.
I do like, you said you had Ghost Zoo as an idea, but you just said hippocampus, and it sounded pretty damn good.
Wow, like a hippo university?
Hippocampus.
It's pretty good. And also right now, it's Mudang is so big. Hippos are so in the zeitgeist that I bet you could sell it like a hippo animated movie.
We're saying Mudang is big when that was like 8 months ago, and I don't know if anyone cares about Mudang anymore.
You know how Hollywood works. So they'll be very late to a trend. That movie will come out like in 5 years.
Yeah. 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Mudang was quite the juicy one.
I don't fantasize about eating Mudang.
What are you talking about?
It's perverse.
Well, come on now. We had barbecue today.
Name does translate to juicy pork, I believe.
Wait, is that real?
Like or spongy pork? It's something like that.
Mudang's name is spongy
Isn't
pork?
It? Can someone look it up? What kind of pork is it? Bouncy pork, maybe?
What? Bouncy pork? Yeah, bouncy pork.
Bouncy pork.
Yeah.
Oh,
cute.
Boy. That is cute.
Yeah. All right, so here, let me ask you about barbecue.
Okay.
Because you're from Virginia.
Yes.
Casey also from the South, from Florida. So I know you both have some barbecue opinions. We're talking about a barbecue chain today. First off,
it's funny because I just don't. Florida for whatever reason doesn't count.
I mean, the funny thing about this is that, like, okay, Virginian, Floridian, but like barbecue isn't really a Florida thing or a Virginia thing.
That's what I was going to ask. If Virginia has its own barbecue culture, and I guess you just answered it for me. Not really.
Not really.
Like, yeah.
I mean, obviously you can find good barbecue in Virginia, but there's no like Virginia barbecue.
Right. And then there's like a Carolina style, obviously there's a Texas style.
Right.
Like these regional styles exist, but it's less so of a thing in Virginia. But you are saying like I do imagine you've had some good barbecue in your life.
Yes.
Yeah. And I imagine where you live, it's like there are good barbecue options, like, relatively close.
There is one.
There's one.
There's two. There's two good barbecue options where I live. One is in a little town called Gordonsville, and a place called Barbecue Exchange, and it's wonderful. And they used to have pre-pandemic every February Porkapalooza, where you would show up and it was just a big barbecue festival, and you eat all the barbecue you wanted.
Yeah, we got a similar thing for the Doughboys, where all our fans meet up at Dorkapalooza.
Hey, come on now!
All you can eat,
losers. You're pathetic.
Why are you here?
And that's like during the Republican convention or whatever, like a Grindr goes crazy. For ours, none of the dating apps, they're just dead silent.
Go down.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no sexual activity.
Like Grinders go crazy. People are looking for sandwiches.
The GRINDER app goes nuts.
Yeah.
The Grindr app goes crazy. There is a pizza festival coming. And Wise, you sent it to the Doughboy sex chain, and you said, should we do this? And then Susser replied, yes, we, capital W-E, should.
Yeah.
And I am interested in going to the...
We don't do things like that very often.
No.
But that's like the sort of thing that we could do as a show. We could go to this big LA pizza festival and see what that's all about.
And we probably won't, just because we're bad at our jobs. But...
Right.
LA barbecue was pretty dire, I would say, for a long time. And then was it Bledsoe's, or was it was there Blues?
There's a few different concepts that kind of like became, but I think Bledsoe's was one of the big ones, or at least even if that wasn't the first, that was kind of like the, that was a signifier that like kind of like, oh, LA barbecue is becoming more of a thing. Now I'm sure you compare it to other barbecue cities in the nation, and I'm sure it pales in comparison to what you can find in the South, but like. There are good barbecue options out here now, and then obviously there's Korean barbecue, which is its own thing.
100%, yes. And I was saying Moose Craft is a new one that is great, but sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, how recent are these like new barbecue entrants?
I think within the past 10 to 15 years. 15
Bledsoe's, I feel like, is probably close. That's the one that I was like, oh, like the barbecue trend or whatever is happening in LA. And I'm sure that you could find, like, there was probably one good spot in LA at some point, but the history, like Bledsoe's was the thing that I feel like really took off, right? I think there was another good spot, like not in Hollywood, but like maybe in like West LA or something at one point.
I know it's not Baby Blues, or maybe it is Baby Blues, but it's something like that. It's got blues in the name.
It was Baby Blues.
It was Baby Blues. Okay, that place was all right. And then also there's the Adam Perry Lang restaurant, which has Adam Perry Lang, something of a celebrity chef. He has this barbecue concept. I'm trying to look up what it's called. But we were talking about Epstein earlier. Adam Perry Lang also was like
on the fly log?
No, he was like Epstein's personal chef for a time.
Wow.
Like an insane personal history.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about barbecue, like I'm not one of those people who's like, you can't find good barbecue outside of the South or outside of South Carolina or whatever. Like you can find good barbecue everywhere. I do think it's a similar situation as with like pizza and like historic pizza hubs, right? You can find good pizza everywhere, but like the median pizza in say like New York or New Haven is probably going to be a little better than like the median pizza where I grew up in Virginia Beach.
Right.
Yeah, I think
100%.
Yeah.
There's got to be right in every look. I'm no Dave Portnoy, but I feel like in every town in the United States there has to be at least like one decent pizza shop, right? At this point, I don't know.
I mean, like Italian food is, there are regions where it's better, but it's kind of a national cuisine. Mexican food has become kind of the same thing. There's good Mexican food all over the country now, but there are pockets where Mexican food is better.
In the middle of the country, you're not going to hit. LA pizza was tough for a while. I mean, like when I first got here, it's gotten a lot better.
But I think a lot of what you see, and this applies both to barbecue and to pizza in LA, is like, there's not like what you might see in regions more known for it, where you can find like a cheaper or a working class version that is like very good. Whereas in LA, it's like you're paying a premium. These are like, these are more upscale. These are fancier like concepts.
And that's so much of that's just a function of like cost of living, right? Like if you are in, rural South Carolina, if you're in Charleston, even you can find a bunch of space to, especially in the outskirts of the city, a bunch of space to open up a place and like do barbecue. And you're not going to be spending so much money on rent, right?
Right.
Or in parts of the rural South where there's basically no laws anymore, you can just like have a shack. I'm not joking about that. Maybe Casey could attest to this, but like once you get out of major population areas, like I think in like any place that's sufficiently rural, law doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it just turns into fallout.
Yeah, it's not that it's like chaotic. It's like you can do whatever you want and no one's gonna bother you unless it's like really egregious.
Right. Northern New Hampshire is like that too. Maine too. And you get up there, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Live free or die. Lockhart, Wags and I went to I actually demanded that you go to Lockhart. Remember when we did this is now almost 10 years ago.
Did you go to
2017
Lockhart,
Texas?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did a barbecue tour in which I'd been before. I've luckily been to Lockhart like 3 or 4 times. And it's like it is the barbecue capital, right? Is it, or maybe it's self-proclaimed barbecue capital of the world. I don't know if there's an official title. Maybe Trump will give one.
It's like when there were 2 popes,
right?
The Pope in Avignon and the Pope in Rome.
Yes,
it's the barbecue capital, and I'm sure there's some other barbecue capital that's been declared.
Yes, I think Lockhart should. I think Lockhart should be the one. It is awesome, and you walk in. You're basically walking into like the walk-in barbecue pits. You feel like you're Hansel and Greteling yourself.
Yeah, there were like 3 spots we went there.
They look at you. Look at that Boston butt over there.
There were 3 spots.
I would feed millions of Texans.
It was you, me, and Gabrus. We went to 3 different spots.
Oh man, me, you, and Gabrus.
Yeah.
The country would be eating good for a long. With me, you, and Gabrus, are we cooking us up?
Yeah, we had a. Wait, are you saying we? Wait, hold on. I just realized what you're saying. You're talking about cooking the 3 of us and serving us.
Yes.
Okay, I was talking about the 3 of us went and ate at these places.
Yes.
So that's a different thing, which is also true.
I was saying there's the walk-in. Like, it's the walk. You walk into basically into an.
So hypothetically,
right? We could have been cooked.
Could have been smoked.
Turned into meals for dozens.
Yeah.
I do have I do sometimes when I look at like one of those like wood fire ovens, I do sometimes think about like what if I just baseball slid into there? What would happen? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like a brick pizza oven, you just go head first.
It would be very sad, but I would give the safe signal. I guess you'd be out, kind of, in a way, right? You'd be gone. I get what you're saying. It's like when you put there's like videos of like goats just running into fires. I don't know why they do that, but It's like being on a building and wanting to just
jump
off.
100%.
Is there a name for? I feel like that's an experience everyone has. Like you're doing something that you have no intention of, like running, like driving off the side of a mountain, but your brain's like, what if I did it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. The fact that the brain does it, we are fucked. We're all
why do we do
fucked
that?
up.
It's called Call of the Void, I believe. It's
Call
of
the Void.
Of course, you freak, you know it. Lockhart was fantastic, and when I was just in Bentonville, I went to Wright's Barbecue, and Wright's Barbecue is really
this
really
is in
good
Arkansas.
Too. In Arkansas, yeah. Wright's Barbecue, and I got what I was just making fun of. I got there, and I was like, "Can I get some brisket?" And they're like, "No, we're out of," and they were out of everything.
Wow.
And it's funny because it's similar to what I got today, but I got jalapeno sausage, like a jalapeno cheddar sausage, and I got pulled pork, which I said I didn't like today, which I am kind of a pulled pork skeptic. I was just saying, you weren't here for this, but I was saying how you said that the floor for chicken is very low,
right?
And I was saying the ceiling for pulled pork is pretty low.
The best version of it is still not knocking your socks
off.
Yeah.
Now I'm going back on what I said because the Wright's Barbecue pulled pork was fantastic. And it can be good.
I think because pulled pork is maybe on the easier side of like what you can do barbecue-wise. It's like much more common. And so you're more likely to encounter like really mediocre pulled pork. But great pulled pork can be quite good.
That for me growing up, barbecue was we're making pulled pork and it's super saucy and like candy, like ribs that are so like and not good quality ribs, like Chili's level of ribs with just glazed over, being served to their sticky son. I was already sticky, and then what?
Their sticky son.
Their sticky son.
Sticky son. Is that how they introduce you to everyone?
This is our sticky son.
This is Michael, my sticky son.
They shake my hand, and I can't let go. But this memory, which I'm sure you like, I remember watching. It's the same year, I think the same year Chris Farley died. I'm putting all these weird things together in my head. I was in middle school.
Yeah, you have those markers. And it happens sometimes.
And it was the Green Bay Packers were in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Maybe with I guess with Favre, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember like not even really caring too much about sports at that point, but was so excited about the halftime. And we made ribs. And I just remember it was just like the sticky, like that to me was barbecue.
Yeah.
Like like sugary, sticky sauce on ribs. And I don't even like I almost don't even like ribs now,
right?
Because I had such a bad version of them forever, which is like like the little veiny, like not meaty ribs. And now I think ribs are so. And today, not to get into the food, but today my favorite thing was the ribs, which is crazy, but.
For me, barbecue, growing up in SoCal, lifelong SoCal super dude, it's like there just isn't like much of, there are places that do good barbecue. There are, some good barbecue restaurants in Long Beach. It was like never really a thing for my family. We had like a barbecue outside, but it was never for barbecuing. It was for grilling. Right. It's a different thing. And so for me, honestly, a big part of what I thought barbecue was I want my baby back. Chili's baby back ribs.
Yes.
I would go and I was like, oh, this is what a barbecue experience is. This is a big slab of meat that's got a really, really like saccharine sweet sauce.
There's that video of them recording that song.
I was just thinking about it. It's so good.
It honestly is like seeing the Beatles in studio. It is. Yeah. It's huge.
Right.
Like it is like it's such a cultural touchstone.
And they're so locked in.
They sound so like just their individual voices. They sound so good.
The drummer's just drumming the shit out of it. It's fucking awesome. Just session musicians just like locked in. It's great.
This used to be a damn country. What the hell's happened?
Make jingles great again.
The jingles suck now.
It's true.
Jingles are bad.
Yeah.
Everything is a fucking joke now. That's the issue for me. Everything has to be funny.
Yeah, you can't have like
none of it is funny. They're like, give me sincerity over that. Give me the baby back rib song. That's real.
We like that because it was trying to be earnest and it didn't care about being cheesy or not. It just was what it was, and we liked that it wasn't commenting on itself.
100%.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's
People
great.
were singing it across the country.
It's
you
true.
guys don't even know this.
NSYNC was singing it.
Zoomers have no idea.
I'm not a Zoomer.
The country was going wild for the baby back ribs jingle. You heard it everywhere. The president recited it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Was it Bill?
Bill probably was humming.
He probably 100% was.
Hillary, I want my bow. Yeah, I'm sure he did that.
Come over here, Monica. Baby back, baby back. Yeah.
He was singing it after everything went down. Hillary, I want my baby back, baby back. Sorry about what happened. This is him apologizing after the blue dress.
Do you remember his speech?
I did not have sexual relations with those baby back, baby back.
Do you remember he gave like a speech from, it might have been from the Oval Office, like addressing the allegations and basically saying that he was, I remember watching that. Like, it was such a big news story at the time that I remember watching that with, like, a group of friends. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's such a weird thing that we all, like, hey, let's go see what the president said about, like, getting his dick sucked. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
So
I wanted more details personally about it.
when I was in college, one of my part-time job, I was doing archive editing for, like, just video and audio coming out of the White House, since the White House used to produce that stuff.
Right.
Put it out there, and then researchers would just sift through it. So I was, like, an editor editing some of that stuff. And I was editing the first press conference where Clinton addresses the allegations.
Wow.
And it's so funny.
Oh my God.
Because when it's like, if you watch a documentary about the 90s, they just show the part where he's like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But that comes at the end of like an hour-long press conference about education policy. So he's just like talking about federal education policy. And then at the very end, he's like, and I have one more thing to say. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then he walks off.
Wow.
That's wild.
It's very funny to me.
Yeah, in context, that's so strange.
Did he ever give an excuse? I like blue. Blue turns me on. Bluey the dog is hot. I don't know. I mean, I can try to think. Bluey didn't exist at this point, but
I was gonna say
that's disgusting.
What?
It's a child.
Well, oh my God, Bluey the dog is a child. That's your issue. Doesn't bother fucking Bill.
The father in Bluey is blue. So I mean,
there we go.
Right. That's right.
Bluey's dad and mom. How was that? Or is just the
dad.
All right.
The mom is orange.
Bluey's dad. Are you happy? Does that work?
Yeah, okay, that fixes it.
When it comes to barbecue, just like growing up, my dad had a smoker, so he would like smoke meat on occasion. Right. We used to do smoked turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's fun.
And so that was like mainly. We didn't go out to eat a ton, so that was like my main exposure to barbecue. And I don't think I really began like eating more barbecue until in college.
Yeah, I think I was a dumb enough kid and just was not exposed to it. I thought barbecue. I thought barbecue equaled barbecue sauce.
Right.
I thought that's what I thought.
That's pretty dumb.
The barbecue sauce you get for like a chicken McNugget was like that's what makes it barbecue. You know.
Do you know my first introduction to smoking was The Mask?
What kind of sauce do you like barbecue wise?
I don't like sauce.
Wow, you like it dry.
I like it.
I didn't
like Ben Shapiro. I like it dry.
I didn't mean it like that. I dry rub.
Wags, that was gross.
What?
No, I mean I'm just of the opinion that like your barbecue should be good without a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you shouldn't have to rely on sauce. Like sauce is something like extra that you can add if that's what you want as another flavor, but in terms of like the quality of the meat, it should be perfectly. Now I want to say perfectly juicy, but like now it just sounds weird when I say it.
It's his fault. He started it with dry.
Perfectly wet.
I get where look, barbecue people out there. If you're listening, you are annoying. Like they are very annoying.
Is that the most annoying like food person?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
Everyone is so annoying.
Barbecue
now.
people are very annoying.
Barbecue people are annoying.
I feel like coffee people are more annoying.
I was just about to say coffee people.
Yeah.
Speaking as a coffee guy,
yeah.
I was about to say coffee people.
Beer people can be pretty.
Beer people are pretty bad.
Yeah,
beer snobs are bad. I think especially. I mean, they get, and it's funny because you and I will talk about IPA beer snobs, and people get mad at us for that, and they're like, we're not like they just get because we both aren't huge IPA fans.
Yeah.
And then we're always like, they always want IPAs, and we say that they all taste the same. And then people get mad at us for making fun of IPA people. But IPA beer snobs, I think, are the most annoying people in the world.
Yeah.
Do they even still exist? I feel like that was a thing 10 years ago.
It feels like that's faded a little bit.
It's faded a little bit.
The double IPA, quadruple IPA, just how hoppy can you get it? I feel like it's less of a thing.
IPAs, I think, kind of suck. But barbecue people are very annoying. You are annoying. But I will say this. They are right that, like, when it's like, you've never had real barbecue before. And then, like, when I think on the past, I'm like, yeah, I never really had real barbecue until I, like Lockhart or wherever, until I had real Southern barbecue chains. And it is a different barbecue. I wouldn't even put that high on my list. And then when I have real barbecue, I'm like, oh, real barbecue is fantastic. I know it's one of Casey's favorite foods.
I love it.
Casey loves a Q.
And when it is good like that, Moo's Craft Barbecue in LA.
I mean, that's the thing. It has to be good barbecue.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, the thing about barbecue, it's genuinely interesting about it is that, like, it's one of the food ways in the country that did remain regional for, like, much longer than other ones, right? Like pizza, even Mexican food became much more national, but it's only been relatively recently where, like, barbecue is a thing that is somewhat, I wouldn't say common, but, like, you can find barbecue around the country.
You're saying, like, that real deal barbecue.
Yeah, whereas, like, for the longest time, right, like, if you wanted to get real deal barbecues, you have to get a ticket and go to Texas. You have to go to Kansas City. You have to go to the actual place where it comes from.
And we want to do a show in Kansas City.
Kansas City barbecue is my favorite. I love that show.
Wow,
yeah,
Kansas City.
We've never had it.
Yeah, never been.
I remember going to Dinosaur Barbecue when I was in college, and that being like...
That's in Ithaca, and there's one in New York City,
it's
right?
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
There's a bunch of people from Syracuse in Ithaca, from the Cuse, and they always be like, Dinosaur Barbecue, and then I went and ate that and was like, oh, this is good. And now I wonder how Dinosaur Barbecue is compared to, like, some of these really good barbecue places. It might be bad. I have no idea. But so I'm like, college is the first time I had good barbecue, and then great barbecue not till I was in my, like, maybe almost 30 years old.
Yeah, again, you from New England, me from Southern California, we just weren't exposed.
Yeah,
to it.
And there's still styles that are still very regional, right? Like, you can, like, Texas style, which I think is the one that's become more national because brisket is, like, widely available, and the technique is you can replicate in other places, but, like, whole hog is still very much a thing that you have to go to, like, South Carolina.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, there's so many Doughboys style barbecues. Dry rub, whole hog, burnt end. Something. That works.
Honestly,
Mario when he falls on lava. For me, I don't know if I've ever had Kansas City barbecue, or, like, definitely haven't had real deal Kansas City barbecue. Texas, I've knocked off the list, and then I know, like, I think I've had, like, what's the other? Is it the Carolina styles, or is it
Well, there's North Carolina is known for, the Carolinas for pulled pork, and North Carolina is, like, the vinegar based sauce.
Okay,
or at least, like, a part of the state, and then South Carolina is, like, a mustard based sauce.
Okay,
I'm intrigued by the mustard based sauce. I'm a big mustard guy.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
The guy who didn't know who DJ Mustard was for, like, 8 months after everyone. When people were yelling mustard, he thought people were talking about mustard.
People were talking about mustard unless they loved it.
I 100% thought that.
Yeah. I mean, that's legit. Mustard's a great condiment.
It is great.
There's a lot of styles we haven't tried. We should go to different cities. We haven't done that.
One interesting thing is there's barbecue fusion. So, like, I was reading some years ago about how outside Dallas there's, like, Ethiopian / like, barbecue.
Oh, wow.
fusion.
That's fun.
Up near DC, I think in Maryland, like, in one of the counties around the city, there's, like, maybe a Guatemalan joint that, like, does, like, barbecue fusion. So you can get a pupusa with, like, brisket stuffed in it or something.
Right.
Which sounds, when I say it out loud, sounds incredible.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm getting Korean barbecue this weekend. Claudia and John Early, the three of us are going to Parks Barbecue.
Oh, wow. Classic spot.
One of the best in the country.
And that's the thing. And, obviously it's a different thing, but
so different,
that is the one thing that you can definitely point at that LA has is just like world-class Korean barbecue.
For your have your kids had good, you said, have your kids had, like, sushi yet, or, like,
So my son loves sushi.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually recently got sushi for dinner, and I was like, okay, do I have enough? And I just got to buy, like, 2 whole separate rolls just for him to eat in addition to everything else.
Wow, I love it.
So he loves sushi. We don't get barbecue a ton, but they've both had barbecue and they both like it.
That's great.
So again, their palates are like surprisingly broad for being little kids. Part of it is that like we never did the thing where like we made food separately for them. It's just sort of like you're just gonna eat what we eat, and if you don't like it, I guess too bad.
That's how it was for growing up. That's exactly the same. Like my face would be mushed into my meal if I didn't eat it. But I maybe that's a little too much. But
also you were gonna eat it.
Yeah, that was never an issue. I never got the face mush. For me, we've talked about this before. Like the idea of sushi, it was so foreign to me, and I had never I remember trying it in middle school or maybe even high school when my parents got it.
Yeah.
And being like, this is so strange to me, and it just not. And now I feel like kids are used to that growing up. Like kids just eat sushi, or like Chankton's daughter, my goddaughter, like she just eats sushi and she's like a baby.
Well, it's at the grocery store, you know, like we go to our local Wegmans and they have like two guys making sushi fresh right there, and you just pick some up. I do think about like when we were. You guys are older than me, but like not that much older than me, and I'd say that when we were kids, like the quality of sushi you might get at a restaurant is now basically what you can get at a grocery store these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
For sure.
That's wild.
I got exposed to sushi and related dishes like spam musubi like fairly early on, so like I kind of knew, like I knew that sort of,
which makes sense in California.
But like it was treated in pop culture as like this weird thing for a time, like raw fish. Like it was like a sitcom joke. I'm not gonna eat raw fish.
A weird feminizing thing.
Exactly.
I'm sure I could think of some joke where like a man's eating sushi and they're just like, oh, look at that guy, he's a huge pussy.
Wasn't there a book called?
If I still saw that movie, I'd be like slapping my leg.
That's right. He is a huge pussy.
Comedies are back. There was a book. I would think the title was in the 80s. I think it was titled "Real Men Don't Eat Quiche."
That's right.
And it was one of those things that was just like again, just a masculinity tome or whatever.
Soft eggs. Someone has a. I can say someone has a pussy. I can't think of anything else to say. Yeah.
The Simpsons have Homer. The like a very early. I think a season 1 episode is Homer at that sushi restaurant.
Yeah,
and it's like eating like this blowfish that's and it's like it's poisonous or whatever. So it also seemed like, oh my god, like it's dangerous and it's raw and it was completely it was strange to me as a boy. And now the most common thing in the United States. Yeah, it's everywhere. Which is a good thing. It's a great thing. But people out there, if you eat it, you're a pussy.
Well, now with the tariffs, we might be hard to get the fish for sushi.
Yeah. Also, did you want to announce the Doughboys Patreon increase?
Yeah, we have the Doughboys tariffs have gone into effect. Yeah. So if you're outside of the country, you're going to be paying a premium on the Doughboys Patreon.
And unfortunately, it's affected people inside the country too. So Platinum Play Club is now $17.
It's easier to just make it global. Yeah. It's actually fairer and easier just to make the tariffs apply to Americans as well. So that Patreon is going to be a little more expensive.
Yeah.
But thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, how often does this happen? You sign up for something, forget about it after the trial period ends, then you're charged month after month after month after unending month. The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. In fact, Mitch, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Thanks to Rocket Money, I can see all my subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones I'm not using anymore, and now I'm saving more money.
That's right, Wags. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Bye-bye, Doughboys Double.
See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending in each category to know exactly where your money is going.
Get alerts if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. The new Goals feature automatically saves money for you so you don't have to think about it. Pay off credit card debt, put away money for a house, or just build your savings. Rocket Money makes it easy.
Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with the customer service, so you don't have to. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 billion in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features.
Wow. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/doughboys today. That's rocketmoney.com/doughboys. rocketmoney.com/doughboys. Wags, whether you use nicotine to enhance focus, boost your energy, or relax, there's a Lucy perfect for you. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. Lucy Breakers are nicotine pouches with an extra surprise.
Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken open to release extra flavor and hydration.
Wow.
Lucy pouches pack up to 12 milligrams nicotine. They're sure to satisfy even the most demanding nicotine routines. Set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door.
What's your favorite Lucy flavor, Wags?
Oh boy, you got mint, you got mango, you got berry citrus, you got apple cider, you got apple ice, you got espresso. They're all good. And hey, as far as strengths go, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 12 milligrams.
Wow. And you know what? When's a good time to throw in a Lucy? Anytime. At the ballpark, going on a walk.
Taking the edge off when you get home from a hard day podcasting.
That's true.
Oh, boy, I worked 3 hours today. Whew, boy.
That's one of the Headgum hunks?
Yeah.
Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/doughboys and use promo code doughboys to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code doughboys to get 20% off.
And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Dickey's Barbecue Pit was founded in Dallas, Texas in 1941 by Travis Dickey. Last week, Mitch, with Stav, we talked about Carl's Jr., founded the very same year, 1941, as Dickey.
1941.
As Dickey's Barbecue
This is
Pit.
nearly 100-year-old. It's 80-something years old.
Yeah,
That is,
I guess
that is shocking to me.
It is wild.
That is crazy.
Dickey's is older than Burger King, Denny's, and Waffle House. The reason it doesn't seem on the same level as those places is because Dickey's didn't begin franchising until it existed for 50 years. So 1994 was the first time they said, like, let's make some more Dickey's. And then this leads to Travis Dickey, the founder, his grandson, Roland Dickey Jr., becoming CEO in 2006. And Dickey Jr. just was like, we're going to be everywhere. He just began an exponential growth, policy. They had 20 locations when he took over in 2006. In 2010, 4 years later, they had 115, and in 2017, they had 567 locations. So they just scaled up massively, Mitch, in a decade and change, from 20 locations to over 500. However,
can I tell?
Yeah.
Let me make it clear of how old Dickey's is.
Yeah,
it's older than Joe Biden.
Older than Joe Biden.
Wow.
Dickey's is older than.
What
Joe
year was
Biden.
Biden born?
42. Same as my dad. My
That's
dad
wild.
was actually older than Biden.
That's wild to think about.
He's dead also, but he was an old man.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese. Dickey's is older than Martin Scorsese.
That's crazy to think about.
It's old. Dickey's is old.
So, but it was just like a regional, like Dallas thing for most of its existence until this recent decision to turn it into an international brand.
Does it say when the various expansions happen? Is it like they expanded 200 locations and then like 10 years passed and they do like another big expansion, or is it just a?
I believe it was. I don't have a year by year TikTok here, but I believe it was just kind of a it was a conscious decision by the new CEO to make it a bigger brand, and they just basically just grew like franchised as rapidly as possible.
I do remember a story Biden told about how he and Corn Pop, after going swimming in a swimming hole, went to Dickey's.
Can I say sometimes when I'm just like thinking about the past, I remember that the Corn Pop story was real. Like I remember watching him tell that story and being like, he's an adult old man. And then like a week later, there's a story in the Washington Post by like Corn Pop's daughter. And it's like, yeah, Corn Pop was my father, and him and Joe Biden had a blood feud. What can I say? And it was like at that moment when I read that Corn Pop was real, I was like, Joe Biden's gonna become president. God is smiling upon him.
I don't think Biden would be doing so far. I mean, he would clearly be. I think he would be doing bad, but I think the country would be doing much better.
I would take the sleepiest Joe.
Yeah, sure.
The deep sleep.
give me Weekend at Bernie's 2. Joe Biden.
So
that is right. So does Weekend at Bernie's 2 just take place right after the last movie? Because it must, right?
I don't remember. Boy, it's been years since I've seen it. I've seen both those movies.
A year later, he's decomposing.
The gimmick of Weekend at Bernie's 2 is there's like a voodoo ritual that brings him back so he can like move and like dance on his own. Yeah. So, but I don't know if it happens right after the first movie.
Did the curse keep him fresh, possibly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would have been a great inauguration for Biden too, right? Like they push him onto the stage, and then there's like a voodoo ritual. Jumps up.
Got sunglasses on.
Come on, man.
Force ghost, corn pop, smiling down.
He's smiling.
So the issue is they overexpanded, as these chains tend to do. As per a December 2024 piece in Restaurant Business by Jonathan Mays, the great Jonathan Mays, the title is Dickey's Sales Plunge and Franchisees Pay the Price. A couple quotes from this. The company's corporate franchise revenue declined 12.5% last year and is down 24% over the past 2 years. As many as 28% of the chain stores have closed in just the past 18 months. And then as of 2025, they now have 360 locations, so down over 200 from their peak about 8 years ago. So we went to a downtown LA location. There's a few locations in the greater LA area. Kind of a weird place in downtown. It feels like where it's situated on Spring Street. Kind of an odd spot.
Yes, 100%.
But we did a pickup from there, and I'd never been to Dickey's. I mean, I imagine none of us have been to Dickey's.
No, never been to
I'd honestly, I knew of Dickey's just because I've seen it in those lists of like, top 100 chain restaurants or whatever. And it was, I think in 2012, like the fastest growing chain in the country. So like I was aware of it.
In 2012, it was the fastest.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
So because I've, before you guys reached out to me with like a list of possible choices, I had never heard of Dickey's.
Yeah.
Like never encountered in my life.
I believe it is the largest barbecue chain in the world in terms of number of locations, which is so weird to think about because again, it just seems to have had no impact on food culture, or it isn't like a thing you see ads for or whatever. No one's talking about Dickey's, but it just instantly kind of became ubiquitous. We ordered from the downtown LA location, and I mean, like, it's basically a place like they've got meat plates and they've got sandwiches and they've got sides. They've got what you'd expect a barbecue restaurant to be doing. They've also got wings, which we got some of. Mm-hmm. Mitch, you got a 3-meat plate. I got a 2-meat plate. Jamelle, you got some brisket and a kielbasa and some turkey. I mean, I guess we can just start with the meats because that's the reason to go to a barbecue restaurant.
Is this an Arby's situation? Do they have the meats?
Do they have the meats?
Do they have the meats?
I don't know.
I'll start.
Obviously, in a literal sense, they do
have in a literal sense they have the meats.
They have meats.
We all got the brisket.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the brisket was functionally fine, but like I was not particularly impressed by it. Like I was like, oh, this is brisket, but it felt like it was. I don't know. It felt like it was lacking both flavor and then also fat. It kind of felt like it was like a little bit leaner than I would like.
My brisket was fatty. It had a bit more of the fat. It was well smoked. That it wasn't like tough to eat. Right. Like, really bad brisket can be tough to eat, but it just had no flavor.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like you needed the sauce to give it anything worth eating.
And there are places that's their approach. I mean, we talk about Raising Cane's, which I'm less a fan of than some other people, but that is a place where you're just supposed to be like, yeah, the sauce is, the tendies are a delivery mechanism for the sauce. With barbecue, it shouldn't be that way, ideally. Yeah. You shouldn't need the sauce, but I feel like you kind of need it here. I don't know. What do you think of that brisket? I think you liked it a little bit more.
I think mine must have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I had pieces that were pretty gray and overcooked.
Yeah.
So I think you summed it up pretty well with oh, this is brisket. this is brisket, not said in a 300 way.
Yeah.
Not said like this is Sparta.
No, yeah.
Said like this is brisket.
Yes.
That'd be a fun commercial though.
Hey, I would love it.
This is that'd be good. That'd be fun.
I would like it if
this is brisket and you kick a pork shoulder into a barbecue pit.
I would like that if that was what who's our guy there who we defended for a long time. He's now doing like a right-wing movie, I think.
Gerard Butler?
The guy who did 300. What
300
Zack
Snyder.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Snyder's doing some sort of
I love being so fucking old you can't remember like the name of like someone you're a fan
I
of.
don't remember shit. I know. Well, I think Snyder's gone. I think he's making some sort of right wing.
I mean that tends to be the pattern.
I when I first took a bite of it, I was like, okay. I was like, this is an equivalent to an okay brisket. But as my meats went on, I got the jalapeno cheddar sausage.
Yeah, jalapeno cheddar kielbasa.
I got that as well, yeah.
It was, I was going to be like, this is really bad. This is going to be the worst thing I eat today. And then I was wrong. But it was not, it was just so dry and overcooked.
That's the thing. It wasn't like the picture, obviously the pictures in the website don't mean anything, but the picture suggested like a juicy sausage.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was just sort of like dried and shriveled up.
Almost Slim Jim-esque.
Yes. Yeah.
It was not. And also, here's the funny thing about that website is like, even the website pictures just look okay. It's like, it's one of those places where like, you're like the website seems shoddy for a thing that's a huge chain apparently, or was.
Everything about this place seems a little janky, which makes me just feel like there's some sort of scam going on. Every time I see that, I'm just like, okay, this is like a scheme to like bilk your franchisees or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like yeah, you look at the app and the app's kind of crap. It's like a little bit janky. It feels like everything feels just a little bit like what's the word I'm looking for? Not roughshod, a little bit it's just
something is off.
Just shabby.
Yeah. And for the brisket, I was like, okay. And then the sausage, this is how I was like eating the things. I was like, brisket, okay, that's not bad. Sausage, real bad. Ribs, which I said, I'm not even usually a huge ribs guy. You tried the ribs, Wags.
Yeah, you got some pork ribs. I did take a bite of that sumbitch. It was decent.
Maybe the best meat, honestly, of the day. But then there was another pork rib below it that was so dried out and horrible. But the one that was cooked decently was good. And so I was kind of still on board a little bit when I was realizing you guys were starting to hate this place. And I had the mac and cheese, which I thought the mac and cheese was just okay. And the mashed potatoes, like the loaded mashed potatoes, which were like trying to do like a baked potato and a mashed potato. There was like green onions in it and bacon and cheese in the mashed potatoes. Those were bad.
That's the thing. Like that looks like something they're trying to market as one of their showstoppers. Of like, look at what we did. Like we have a loaded baked potato, mashed potato. Like how wild is that? And then you have it as just kind of underwhelming.
Yeah. Not to mention that there was also multiple things missing in the order. Which look, you get it delivered. That is just what's going to happen. You can't. There's like no real way around that. I feel like it's gonna happen. But it was like things are missing in the food, and then it was. Much like the economy, Wags, it was crap. Things were going downwards as the economy went down. Nasdaq went down.
Hashtag draft Mitch.
Things, the meal experience as I was looking around and realizing what was happening, it started to plummet.
No, I also had the sausage and the brisket. I got the smoked turkey as well.
I also got the smoked turkey
because
it's my second protein.
Smoked turkey is kind of a difficult meat to do because turkey is not a very fatty animal. It's kind of a bland animal. And so it kind of, this isn't like a rule of thumb, but I feel like if a place can do a decent smoked turkey, it probably can do a decent job with other things. And the smoked turkey, I thought had more flavor than the brisket.
I agree.
It was also kind of like stringy and not great.
No, it was it was pretty dried out, and which turkey tends to do. But I didn't find the texture of the meat particularly pleasant, but I did feel like it had more flavor. Maybe it was just better seasoned than the brisket, and I don't know if that's just how they do their turkey, or maybe this is how this particular batch was. But yeah, you and I both agreed. Like we were talking during lunch, like the turkey was just straight up better than the brisket, which should not be the case.
Right,
I feel like the turkey should be like, oh yeah, they also have a good turkey. It should not be like, well, the brisket was bad, but the turkey is a little better. That's damning it a little bit.
The first time I had smoked turkey, I went over to the Mask's house for Thanksgiving.
He welcomed you in. Does he have the mask on still?
Yeah, of course he was wearing the mask.
Wearing the mask on.
Look, I'm gonna just say this.
He's like, "What are you having for dinner, Mask?" He's like, "Well, it's smoking." And you're not really sure what he means because that's just how he talks.
But it was the turkey.
Yeah.
It was the turkey. It was I was weird. It was slightly weird that I just showed up to his house on Thanksgiving.
Well, he invited you. He's a grown man, and he's looking for children to invite over because he's a cartoon character.
Look, I gotta say this.
I bet him saying grace would be so funny.
I was just about to say, I know that the way the joke went over, it wasn't to people's liking. But I'm gonna say this. If they made a movie, The Mask's Thanksgiving, how fun would that be?
That'd be pretty great.
I would watch
Thanksgiving at the Mask's
Thanksgiving.
That would be a blast.
Have you seen the Sonic movies?
Yes.
I do like Jim Carrey in the Sonic movies.
I keep telling people that Jim Carrey is giving like a 90s performance in those movies. Yeah, he's killing it.
And there are definitely a lot of kids that like their understanding of Jim Carrey comes through the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and that's it.
Yeah.
But he is like, it's classic Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I got to see a rhino giving birth to him or whatever in Ace Ventura 2. There's guys who are just, Jim Carrey's undeniable. Jack Black, come on, these guys, they're good. They're all good.
I have something for the Mask at Thanksgiving.
What's that?
He goes for like a third or fourth helping, and he goes, "Somebody stop me!"
That's really good, Amelia. Let's get you in that room.
That's really good. Get her in the room.
Get in the writer's room.
All right. Amelia and I had a productive day. She helped me with an audition earlier
today.
That's
nice.
Yeah, Mitch did a good job.
Wait, were you auditioning for the Masked Thanksgiving? Is that what this is all about?
Maybe. Guess who I'd be playing? Fat Thanksgiving guest.
I was going to say the turkey.
Yeah.
They put a human being.
I thought the turkey was fine, and it definitely needed some sauce to wake it up. And let me just say this: so we got a bunch of different sauces. I was not particularly. I was not particularly into any of the sauces, honestly. Like their sauces come in their branded little cups, and I thought their default sauce was whatever. I thought their sweet sauce was like way too sweet, and I thought their hot sauce, I was just like, give me a little bit more burn or something here.
Sure,
their hot barbecue sauce at least. They have a straight up hot sauce.
Yeah.
But like their like packaged branded Dickey sauces, I thought were all pretty underwhelming.
I just got mad thinking of how much my body looks like an uncooked turkey. It's just like very similar.
Right.
Very, very similar. Turkeys look a lot like you. Like they do.
They down to the big hole.
And look, I stuffed that thing. I don't even know what that means, but
we can each probably figure out a joke about fucking a turkey. I guess that's...
It is. There's something very Mitch coded about an uncooked turkey.
The sauces were pretty. The sauce. I don't know. Maybe someone wants to defend the sauces.
I think the sauces were. I didn't have an issue with
I only had the standard sauce. I thought it was fine. I will say like the bottled like Wegmans brand sauce I get at the grocery store is like better.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like I'll get some Sweet Baby Ray's or whatever.
Yeah.
And this should be better. Their signature sauce should be better than some Bullseye I can get from the supermarket. The sides.
I thought it was. I personally thought it was better than Bullseye or something.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I didn't think they were great. I'm not going to bat for them.
I didn't mind the barbecue beans. I didn't get my green beans.
I did not like the barbecue beans.
Wow. Okay.
I thought they were so like. I like beans a lot. One of my favorite food groups.
Yeah.
And we make barbecue beans sometimes. And the thing about barbecue beans is like they are supposed to be sweet, but that should be balanced with like heat and a strong savory note. That's like sort of what all the bacon or the pork is for. Like it's a balance of these three elements. And I thought these were like sickly sweet without enough of the other elements that you need for them to work. I found them like I had a couple bites and I was like, I can't. And I love beans. Like, I will I will look past a lot. But I thought these were not good.
How do you prep a barbecue bean at home?
The way I do it is I cook the navy beans first, like from dried navy beans, maybe with some bay leaves and garlic and like a whole onion thrown in just for like some additional flavor. And then you make sort of the sauce, like ketchup, mustard powder, or actual yellow mustard, brown sugar. What else is in there? There's a bunch of stuff in there. Chop up some jalapenos, chop up some onion. Mix sort of the beans and some bean liquid, like enough to kind of in a casserole dish, like kind of submerge the beans, and put whole strips of bacon on top, and then pop it in the oven. Cover it, pop it in the oven. Because the beans are already cooked, basically you're like cooking it so that the liquid reduces and the vegetables kind of like dissolve and everything. And after like 40 or 45 minutes, take off the foil and then let the bacon on top brown. And then you got baked beans.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
That sounds heavenly.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
There's molasses in there.
Wow. Yeah, I like, for me...
Can I also just say?
Yes.
I know that but liquid bean made me think of Mr. Bean as the T-1000. So
that would be very funny.
He pulls himself through metal bars and then does a pratfall.
I love it. And he falls straight into a turkey. That sounded so good. And as you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, the beans did suck. I think that they were serviceable, but I thought the chili was worse.
The chili was definitely worse than the beans.
The chili was bad.
Which again, the chili had brisket in it, and they were talking up their brisket chili. So like, I'm expecting a little bit more. It was not anything particularly exciting. Yeah, I guess they were just kind of canned beans, but I don't know. They got the job done for me at least.
I was able to try I got green beans, and I thought they were fine. They tasted like canned beans that they added like a little meat to, which I'll say growing up, like I grew up eating canned green beans. And so I do have a bit of like a nostalgic, this is a flavor I recognize.
Were today's beans better than Bush's baked beans? My guess is probably no.
No, I think they're about the same.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten Bush's baked beans in
I used to love them. That was a huge go-to.
So that's my dog about them.
Jimmy's quiet. She's being quiet. I guess is that specifically Boston baked bean, or there's a difference with Boston baked beans.
Yeah, you should be the one who knows.
I know. I know.
I can talk about the difference.
Oh, please do.
Boston baked beans. So Southern style baked beans can have tomato in them. Boston baked beans generally don't.
Yeah.
Boston baked beans are generally just molasses, whatever the bean liquid is, mustard, and some brown sugar.
Okay, yeah.
And that's generally what you get in Boston baked beans. And like not bacon, but like some other kind of salt pork.
Yeah, there's sometimes some pork in there or something. Yeah. I'm a big Boston baked. I know about them too. I know about them. As far as the sides went, I thought the mac and cheese was. Did you try any?
Yeah, I thought the mac and cheese was fine, and I also thought, and it was a thing that got lost in the shuffle until it was, sub room temp. We somehow just overlooked it. But the fried okra that I ordered was also
kind of devastating.
Was also fine. But that was like one of the better sides.
Yeah,
and
Jamelle and I were like, I think that was the best side.
Yeah, and I wish we'd had it hot, but we somehow just missed it. What else did we miss? I mean, are there other?
Well, to go into the awful side of stuff, you got buffalo. You got buffalo wings.
Yeah, we should talk about the wings. Were really disappointing. Half buffalo hot, half Carolina barbecue. I could not taste the difference between them. Whatever sauces they, rolled them in a bowl
Those are
with.
Two pretty different things.
Pretty distinct sauces, and I could not tell the difference between the two sauces. And the ranch that it came with was, pretty inert. But I just also felt like are these even smoked? It feels like they were from like in a deep fryer. It said they were smoked wings, I think, on the app.
Well, when I first took a bite of them, they take what we sometimes say on the show is gamey, which is we'll get into a second here. This is exactly how Amelia described what she ate. But the wings tasted so much like Domino's, like bad Domino's wings.
Yes, they taste like pizza place wings for sure.
Which was like how when it's a barbecue place, and I know it's a fast food barbecue place, but you're like, I wish that these have to be a little bit better, right? Or the fryer has to be cooking or something like you have to have a good fry on them or something, and there was not.
It says they are pit smoked wings, so that's what they're claiming on their site. To me, they seem to be like they were in a fryer, but I'll believe them that they were actually smoked. I did not get any sort of smoky character from them.
I mean, if they were, I didn't try the wings, but it would make sense if they were fried. That would make them a little more disappointing. I don't know, just sort of like there's a reason why fried chicken dedicated restaurants have better fried chicken than places that just have fried chicken as an option. Like fried chicken is an intensive thing. It requires like a lot of moving parts.
Yes, yeah.
And so like if you have a barbecue restaurant and you're also frying wings, the wings are not going to get the kind of attention that everything else is.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Mitch, you got the jalapeno and cheese Trail Boss sandwich as a side sandwich.
This is another thing on a normal visit. This would be the worst thing I got. Go ahead.
Casey, you also got a brisket sandwich, and Amelia, you got a crispy chicken sando, correct?
Correct. So the Trail Boss jalapeno cheddar sandwich would be it's a chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
Brisket, jalapenos, and cheese. Is that what's on it?
Yes, it's yes. That's what it looks like the components are on the app.
And I took a bite of that, and it was bad. It was really bad. And I let you take a bite of it, Wags. You also thought it was really bad.
I thought it was pretty repulsive.
And then I took a bite of Amelia's fried chicken sandwich that Emma and Amelia split and then didn't eat too much of because I think it was horrible. And it was truly rotten.
I took one bite and then I was like, nope. Well, I forgot my brisket sandwich and Amelia was like, you can have my chicken sandwich. And then she was like, well, we can share it. And then she texted me, was like, this is bad. And so I was coming in with low expectations.
The chicken,
it was bad.
The chicken sandwich was the worst thing I had.
Yeah.
It was completely it was chewy and gamey, like you said.
The chicken patty was like half the size of the bun too, or the piece of chicken. There was like a lot of extra bread around. I
didn't try it. I just noticed like the cross section when you had yours, and I was like, not for me.
No. And there was nothing on it but sauce. It was just chicken and sauce, right? There was no
home style sauce.
But there's like no lettuce, tomato, nothing.
Wait, home style or ho style?
I mean, when I was eating it was a ho
style. When you cut it in two and you saw saw it bisected. I hate that I say that because you say it all the time. When it was bisected,
that's a good word, bisected.
It does make it sound very clinical.
It does.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
very dexterous.
Yeah, that's which is a great way to describe Weiger.
Am I a Dexter?
So sorry. Yeah, and it looked like you cut in half an old sandwich. It looked old.
Here's what I will say.
Supersized for me, like the old hamburger.
It was like this looks like a sandwich that's been sitting and it's new. It's fresh. It didn't make any sense.
It's not only like new in it was just made. It's new to the menu. All of their chicken sandwiches and the Ranch Boss sandwich and the Trail Boss sandwich. By the way, Trail Boss sounds like a show that's been like on TLC for like 10 seasons.
Yeah.
It's like somehow like the second most watched show in America, Trail Boss.
It's on the Paramount Network.
Yeah.
Peter Berg directed the pilot.
These are all like things that they've added to the menu.
Peter Berg, did I mess that up again? It is Peter Berg.
Peter Berg, yeah.
I got it, yeah.
These are all things that they've added to the menu in, recently. And Jamelle, I think goes back to something you were saying of just like, you're a barbecue restaurant. Why are you trying to do all these fried chicken sandwiches? And the only reason I can think of is they're just trying to cash in on the fried chicken sandwich trend, which is, it's not a...
Which is almost over at this point.
It's kind of over. Yeah, it's kind of at the tail end of it.
I mean, just thinking, you talked earlier about they did a massive and rapid expansion. And sort of like, this is all a testament to why that's sort of a bad idea, right? Like you are a barbecue chain restaurant. You should focus on that, and you should remain in places where there is like a barbecue culture that people are just maybe they don't want to wait at like a nicer place, so they go to your fast food restaurant for a quick barbecue meal. But trying to both expand and then offer everything to everyone, like why in God's name is there chicken fried steak on a barbecue restaurant's menu? First of all,
it really doesn't make sense.
I don't think I've seen chicken fried steak in like years, but like, why is that there? Like, who's buying that?
Yeah.
I only the Doughboys,
Right,
basically.
only the Doughboys, right?
And it was
only the Doughboys and like an 82-year-old grampy, you know?
And it was immediately like, oh, this is not. We both were like, this is not good. This is garbage. We threw it away immediately. But here's the thing I was concerned about.
Yeah.
Is, you know, when you get chicken wings and the bones don't look right? Like the bones looked like they were like kind of dark, but like the bones were kind of dark. And I was like, there's something, this wasn't a healthy chicken.
No.
Like it
you guys were describing the chicken as gamey. And each time I'm just like, how does one get gamey fast food chicken, right?
Yes.
Like where is this chicken coming from that it doesn't at least taste like bland?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it should have no flavor versus a distinct flavor of game.
Yes, I think it was a prison exchange. It was from an El Salvadoran prison.
Yeah.
It seemed very. It either felt like it was old or meat that had sat around. There was something that just wasn't right about it.
It's kind of the thing. And this is I guess maybe a grim thing to voice, but it's like. When you think about like our agricultural system, our food supply system, and factory farming, I feel like sometimes you can taste when something had a horrible life. Well, you know what I mean? It's like kind of like this was a chicken who they like this was just like an awful sort of existence, and it kind of comes through in the meat and the way that it was raised and the way it was slaughtered. It's like fucking horrible.
Take a big bite. I can taste that despair.
But it's a bummer, and like if you have something that like comes from like a whatever.
It seemed like the chicken when it was younger, it had so much potential, and like after high school, it didn't really do much, and it just kind of stuck around. It just didn't do much with itself, you know. And but I sadly agree with you that it does. I'm happy that soul is at rest now.
Right.
That chicken soul, because it seemed like it was not happy. By the way, to bring this on a lighter note, I think I know what the new trend of food is going to be.
Oh, fill us in.
The Italians are taking over.
Let's fucking go.
No. All right. Like Italian, like right now, like the Italian sandwiches, there's like big focaccia Italian sandwiches, like I think like Florence style sandwiches.
You mean beyond like the like pizza and pasta? You think like Italian food at large? I know
this sounds silly, but the new restaurant trend is Italian. And I took a picture. There's a place at the Americana. There's like a new Italian, I think, ice cream. It's just they're pushing Italians on me.
Who is they?
Big Italian.
Like Tony Soprano, a big Italian.
Big Italians are pushing on.
Hey, new Switch coming out, Mario.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what's sad about that? They're fucking withholding the Mario on that one. Well,
we can't get into it.
I know. I'm sorry, but there was look at this. Look at this shit. This is at Americana the other day.
Mitch is holding up a sign for a chain.
Venci, buonissimo.
Mitch, you half sound like you're gonna be like a no Italians allowed sign. You know? No Italians, no dogs.
I love Italian people. It is, I'm telling you, the Italian trend is coming. It's coming.
No,
Amelia,
you say that, and in where in my neighborhood they opened up like a sort of a pizza shop that's like a Roman style pizza shop.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yeah, Roman pizza. That's pretty. Like in LA, Quarter Sheets has the big slab slices, and I think Roman style is very in right now.
Yeah.
You got mesmerized by Jemmy, it seems like.
She's being cute.
Eventually, looks like an Italian chocolate and gelato shop opening soon at the Americana / what is it called? The Americana. What is it?
That's right. The Americana.
Americana.
At Brand?
At Brand. That's what I was thinking of. Anyway, Italian is in. I think chicken sandwiches was the last.
Chicken sandwiches
trend.
feels like that's done.
Feels over.
We're kicking out all the immigrants, and so we got to return to the classic.
Casey, you're a big fan of the Q. You got yourself a Texas brisket sandwich. How was that?
It was kind of exactly what I expected as far as like fast food barbecue goes. I mean, like the texture was like fine. It was tender enough. But yeah, it was like not really seasoned. I didn't think.
Right.
It really needed a lot of the sauce.
You were okay with it for a fast food bar. And I think you and I maybe got the juiciest cuts of the brisket. It seems like mine was okay. And then as I was taking off pieces of brisket, it got like grayer and grayer. And I feel like you guys had the gray ET version of the brisket. It seems like, yes. Yeah.
I was definitely, as I was going, pouring more sauce on every bite.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that rib was and if everything was the quality of that rib that we shared there, I think it would be good. It would be like a decent spot. But there was a lot of things when you take a lot of bites of stuff and you're like, this is disgusting. Right. It's gonna hurt the fork score.
Well, and I think there's also just the element of usually with these places, usually with any chain we talk about, there's at least something we're like, hey, that's pretty good. Or like, I like this. And there's nothing that I like go back at everything that I tasted. There's nothing where I was like, I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. You know, like despite all these other things, this one bite was working. Nothing really like fits that criteria for me. Well, I guess we should talk about the pecan pie slice.
Oh, right. Yes.
Before we move to the pecan pie, I do have to say we all got pieces of Texas toast.
Oh my, yes.
The Texas toast was bad.
That was awful.
It was
so bad.
Like not even disappointing as, mediocre bread can be, but just actively not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was horrible. It tasted so much like an old hot dog bun that was grilled.
I mentioned Raising Cane's earlier. Their Texas toast is legit good.
Yes.
There's no this is I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to like getting to have a big piece of Texas toast. I have 2 bites of this. I don't even want to be slathering in sauce.
It's buttery grilled bread. It seems like it should be kind of easy, but this
is a Texas-based chain. This is a chain from Dallas that says they're bringing a Texas-style barbecue nationwide. Texas toast should be a thing they excel at least in the fast food chain version. It's not working. The pecan pie was fine. I felt like it was like kind of like from a grocery store.
Yeah, it was. I thought the crust actually was like. So first, it wasn't like a rolled out crust. It was like a pressed in crust. Yeah. And I thought it was just sort of like a salty crust. It was like but it was fine.
Yeah, that and the okra had so much salt on it. We were saying at the end of our those are the last 2 things we tried. Basically, I thought it was fine. It wasn't bad. I don't think it was
no, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
The thing about pecan pie is I actually am of the view that like there's no like the only good pecan pie is pecan pie you're going to get from someone who made it at home. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think you can have like a good store bought pecan pie.
Right.
It was. I'll give it this. I'll give it credit for this. It wasn't completely dried out. Yeah. It was like moist. Yeah. Basically. So,
one of our top pies. Can we say pecan pie?
We say?
I think that's on my personal Mount Pie.
On your personal Mount Pie more. I don't. It's not on mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What cupcakes on there?
Emma, we cannot get into this.
Yes, they are, Emma.
I like that I've been listening to this podcast for so long that I like know what you guys are talking about.
And for that, we apologize. What would be your Mount Pie more? Can you bang one out real quick?
I think so. Sweet potato pie.
Uh-huh.
I do love an apple pie.
Yeah.
Key lime pie.
Oh, that's a good answer.
And lemon meringue pie.
Wow. 2 citrus pies.
This is crazy, but I made it once and now it is one of my favorites. But apple cranberry pie is on there.
Okay.
And I know that's but I mean like I guess I would put apple on the because a good apple pie. I think that it's the one that you get the most. So you've had bad versions of it, and if the apples aren't cooked well, it can be bad. It has the floor can be pretty low for apple pie.
But a really good apple pie it's
the best.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a question. I like, and I got this from my father-in-law. I like a slice of sharp cheddar cheese on my apple pie.
Really fun. I do like that. Yeah.
I don't know if
Johnny Rockets used to do that. They stopped doing it.
I think I maybe had a bite of it with you when I had never done it before, but it was not a thing that I got often when I was younger. But I do like it.
Yeah.
It's a sweet and savory sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a sweet and savory thing. It's just like a nice like if the cheese is just put on, it's not like quite fully melted. There's a bit of a temperature contrast thing that I like too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It works.
No, it's delightful.
Yeah.
I think I had to put cherry pie in my top pie, but it needs to be a la mode. I need it to be cut a little bit. I need like the tartness to be cut with something.
Yeah.
And so I need a little bit of ice cream. I like a chocolate mud pie.
That's fun.
Have you guys ever heard of buttermilk pie?
I have. Yes.
I have not.
Yeah. Great pie. It's like a tangy custard almost.
We could just talk about pies all day. This is so much better than
God, man. Yeah,
pies are fucking we've never done a deep dive on pie.
We've done a few pie chains. What was the pie concept we did with Marcio?
Pie Hole.
Pie Hole, yeah.
Pie Hole was good.
There aren't a lot of pie chain restaurants.
Yeah.
It tends to be, there's a place like Marie Callender's that has pies, but it's not their main thing.
Pie Hole was trying to do exactly what Jamelle was saying of trying to be like, we may, or it's like a homemade pecan pie, and we slice it, and you get a slice of it, but it felt like the concept just maybe it feels like is it shuttered completely. The one at the Americana is now
a lot of them have closed. I'm not sure if the chain is still hanging in there in some form.
That gelato Italian chocolate place took over Sprinkles at the Americana, so the Sprinkles is now gone, and then there's a Pie Hole. And where the Pie Hole was, I think a Cinnabon went.
Wow.
Yeah.
It feels like a pie-only restaurant or chain is like a tough proposition. Like if you're running a bakery and then also made pies on occasion, that's one thing. But like only making pies and hoping to like make your business selling pies, it sounds really difficult.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for most people, pie isn't a go-to dessert. You know, pie is like an occasion dessert, right? It's Thanksgiving, you have some pies. It's Christmas, you have some pies.
Yeah.
But
just on a daily basis, who wants to get like a slice of pie? I liked it because it was like, I think it was a local LA spot, and then they tried to make it a chain, and it doesn't work. I think it is that sort of thing of like, there should be one of these in the city, or,
My Mount Pie more real quick, I would say, definitely have pecan on there. I definitely have coconut cream on there. The remaining 2 slots, I think I am going to be with
Let me guess
what
one of them goes to. Yeah. 3.14579.
I think you got 3 digits right. I'm just trying to think where you.
I got the 3.14
right. No, Mitch, I think you got the. I think
go in order.
No. I think 3.147.
3.14159.
7 is right there.
Yeah.
I think it's 3.141592653.
What the
5,
fuck?
7, 5, 3, 2, 3, 8, 4, 6. I don't know. I got
Pretty
a lot
good.
of them wrong. But
Okay, so she's the AI?
That was shocking to hear you do that.
I love it.
It was probably just wrong.
Eyes roll back.
If anyone in this room had done spice, it would have been Amelia. I am gonna I think I would do coconut cream and pecan for 2 slots.
Yeah,
I
pecan would take one of mine too.
I think I would put blueberry on there because I do love a fresh blueberry pie. Now the last slot, I'm weighing a couple of Jamelle's picks, but I think the one I'm going to go with is actually key lime because I do love like a really good key lime pie.
Key lime is pretty
so
damn
specific
good.
and so delightful. We should get to our fork scores.
We gotta do Doughboys
and
we gotta do Doughboys in Key West. I've pitched it forever.
We haven't been to the South enough in general. There's like we only went to Texas once back in 2017, and we've never been to Florida. We've never been to
call up Ron DeSantis.
I will say like in like 2020, we were talking to our. Like us, you have an agent you work with who books like touring gigs. We were talking with our agent about touring, and this is during deep pandemic, and we're just sort of like, what's the future hold or whatever. He's like, things are just kind of shut down right now. Unless you want to do Florida, you can do Florida now.
It'd be great to do a show for like 17 people down there.
Like May of 2020, like Jacksonville.
Let me, if you guys come through the South, let me recommend Richmond, Virginia. Great city.
Wow. Oh, I would love
Great
that. Would
town.
be a blast. Yeah.
The Carolinas too. We got to go to.
Dave Matthews also lived in Virginia. I would like to see.
Dave Matthews from Charlottesville.
Yep. Charlottesville. Yep. I want to go to Miller's, the bar that he would go to, and look, I won't go down a Dave Matthews hole there, but I have a proposition.
Yeah.
Replace DeSantis with DeSanta.
That's good, Mitch. It would be an upgrade. Are you okay? You're doing great. We like the mask Thanksgiving. That was fun.
That was very good.
We should get to our final thoughts on Dickey's
Wouldn't it
barbecue.
be nice if DeSantis was replaced with...
It would be an upgrade. Everyone loves Santa.
I don't think of like a nice DeSantis. I think of like an anti-woke Santa.
Yeah, I think that's what... Right.
This Santa doesn't come to my house.
Oh my God. DeSanta. He is like, oh my God. Ron DeSanta.
That's a bad Santa.
That is worse than bad.
Worse than bad
Santa's
Santa.
pretty nice.
Bad Santa's kind of fun.
Bad Santa's nice.
Hey, buddy, ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you.
Wow. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle, like a podcaster. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals.
Based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto, results will vary depending on diet and exercise. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto.
Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. Reach your goals this year with trusted ingredients and convenience that can't be beat. Wow, you know what I like, Wags?
What's that?
Mamma mia, the chicken Florentine.
Yeah, that chicken Florentine, which comes with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower, sure will do you right. Me, I'm a fan of the Chile roasted chicken because I'm a bit of a heat seeker, with red pepper cream, purple cabbage, and zucchini.
Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping.
Wow. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Wow.
Wow.
Dickey's Barbecue Pit, we should get to our fork scores. Jamelle, you know how this works, so we'll go around. We'll give our closing argument, our score from 0 to 5 forks. You're our guest. We'll begin with you. Your thoughts on Dickey's.
So when we were eating, Mitch raised the question of whether it was even possible to have a good barbecue chain, precisely because both barbecues have been quite specific, but it also requires time and attention. And
right.
It's sort of at odds with the whole notion of fast food. And I'm inclined to say that Mitch is totally correct.
Wow.
That it's not, it may not be. And here I am here I am to prosecute the case against Mitch. No, I'm not sure it's possible to have a good barbecue chain. It's certainly not one that has engaged in this rapid expansion that seems to want to do too much, has too much on its menu, have too many options. The meal itself, I think, reflects kind of the basic conceptual flaw with the enterprise. The meats were there.
Yeah.
But the meats weren't sweet. I don't know. They weren't particularly good.
No.
The brisket was bad. The turkey, although it had some flavor, was dry. The sausage was just really bafflingly disappointing.
Yeah.
The sides, my green beans were okay, and I thought the beans were bad. I'm going to give this 2 forks.
2 forks.
Two
wow.
forks.
Mitch, your thoughts, your fork score.
It's almost like I'm going to be, look, the day hasn't gone the way I wanted. I was stuck behind Kowalik's mom in traffic, Wags. If you check your phone, you'll see.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I was stuck behind Matt Kowalik's mom in traffic.
That's crazy.
And then I came here, I'm like, barbecue, that will be fun. And
this is a custom license plate that says Rat Mom 1.
I know Rat Mom 1.
Oh, wow. You know Mrs. Kowalik?
I do. I actually know Rat Mom 1.
Wow.
Rat Mom 1, I was behind in traffic.
Yeah.
The barbecue I came and I wanted it to be good. My DeSanta thing didn't go over the way I wanted to. The day's just not, even though you liked it just like you liked the mask thing, I know you liked it just as equally. The day is just not going my way. And barbecue seems like it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We have a great guest here.
Right.
But we were saying, sometimes the bad food is a fun episode.
Yeah.
And I've had a fun time today.
I've had a blast.
I almost want to give Dickey's the benefit of the doubt, which I shouldn't. Why? Why should I give it the benefit of the doubt? There were bites in there where I was like, this could be good is this a bad outing by this place or something? Or is this just the way it always is? And I got to go by my one experience from it, which is, I guess, Handholding Club, 2 forks. And I had a better experience probably than you, Nick. But
yeah,
the lows were really low.
I feel like there's a version of this chain that could be
yes,
fine.
Yeah. And there was things that I was eating that I was like, this isn't bad. This is decent for a fast food barbecue chain. And also that's a thing that you don't get often. But I think my hypothesis was correct. I just don't think you're going to get good barbecue. And it's a bummer. I wanted it to be good, but it is not, Wags.
Dickey's Barbecue Pit is now Two Forks from the Spoon Man. Dickey's Barbecue Pit is now a subsidiary of Dickey's Capital Group.
Of course.
Like, this whole thing is, we see this pattern repeatedly, Mitch, where these companies have...
What else do they make? Like jail bars or something?
They're building ice detention camps, serving Dickies there.
These companies start as, these maybe beloved local institutions, and then they have aspirations to become global brands, and then they either themselves become like some sort of holding company or private equity company, or they're sold to one of those companies. And just to read a little bit more from this restaurant business article by the great Jonathan Mays, reflecting on Roland Dickey Jr., who is the failed grandson who was kind of torpedoed this brand.
When you said to read a little bit more, Jamelle and I both went for drinks. We knew it was time.
Interviews with about a dozen Dickey's franchisees, details from legal filings, and numerous complaints submitted to federal regulators all suggest the challenges have exacerbated problems in a system that has long had difficulty with high numbers of store closures. Operators complain that it's difficult to generate a profit in the Dickey's system. They complain about cost overruns on new unit openings, high costs for food and supplies from Dickey's company-run supply chain subsidiary, frequent discounts on digital orders, and pricing limits from the franchisor. Added all together in the system is one in which franchisees are closing at a rapid rate. Some locations are viable, says an attorney who represents a number of Dickey's franchises, but very few, 70 to 80%, are shutting down. The whole business model is simply not working.
Wait, how much are shutting down?
70 to 80%.
70 to 80%.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, so far about 30% have shut down. They're foreseeing for even more. I mean, this chain is one where it's kind of like they ballooned, and now the bubble is collapsing, and it speaks to things like the Subway, and Subway is the most predatory of all of these. Subway's whole model was like, we're just going to collect franchise fees. We're going to expand as much as possible. We're basically going to get all of our franchise owners trapped in debt cycles, and they have to buy from the company suppliers, but they can't turn a profit on their stores. A lot of people put their homes as part of their up as to get these investments so that they can.
They put their houses up.
They put their houses up, and so it's a really just a real bummer what they are doing, and I think also that is just kind of reflected in the quality of the barbecue, which I think the food is just not very good, and the whole thing just kind of bums me out when you dig just even a layer deeper. But also, just by sheer coincidence, the last two meals I've eaten have both been barbecue in the Headgum kitchen, because last night I was recording my other podcast, Get Played, and we ordered Bloodsoes for dinner.
Wow.
And
what the fuck?
Bloodsoes.
I gotta work for Get Played.
Yeah, what the hell?
Bloodsoes was, again, this is an LA chain. There's only a few of them. They have retained the level of quality as they've expanded, and it's just on a completely different level. Also a Texas barbecue concept, and it's so much better. We'll give it fork scores on Get Played, and Mitch, we'll give it 5 forks.
I'll talk to Lev. I'm going to talk to my lawyer about this tonight. What a day it's going to be for him when we finally sue each other. Our lawyer that we share.
Wouldn't be the first podcast host to do that.
That is very true, Alex. That is very true.
I think in comparison to that, obviously it's not the same. It's not a national concept, but it's just like, if I'm going to indulge in barbecue, this big heavy meal that's very often going to be a day ender, a day ruiner. I want it to taste fucking good, and I just did not get that from Dickey's. And I don't see any reason to even be as charitable as give this a second fork. I think this is a 1 fork experience. 1 fork for Dickey's. Nikki didn't like Dickey's. Pretty disappointing.
Nikki didn't like Dickey's.
Yeah.
You have threatened to sue me once on a text chain with me, you and Susser, and then I threatened to sue you later on for a different thing. If we ever actually do sue each other, we've both lost it. We should be put down. Amelia, you were going to say your fork score. You said, I want to know what my fork score is, and we never heard.
Oh, in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Hand holding club. 1 fork.
You almost said star.
I do letterbox system now. If this chain was a movie, it'd be Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh my God!
Wow.
You're saying we're cranks?
Shots fired at
Oh,
Christmas
you were saying
with
we
a
jack
crank.
off?
No, I just don't like that
I mean,
movie.
if I were reviewing Dickies as a letterbox review,
Yeah.
I would write something like Dickies, more like Dick Cheese.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good
I
as
think
hell.
that says it all.
I'm just realizing we fucked up. We should have all worn Dickies for this
Oh,
episode.
that would've been good.
That would have been good as hell.
Jamelle gives me an idea. Dickies, the smegma of chain restaurants.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
the schmegma.
That's disgusting.
That word is so gross.
No one wants to hear that shit, Amelia.
Schmegma.
Fucking awful.
No, say it again a few more times. They probably love it.
Hey, that was our review of Dickies. It's time for a segment. We've got a food stuff. We're going to decide if you should put it in your mouth. It's Snack or Whack. And hey, courtesy of Goldbelly, we've got some Barefoot Contessa coconut cake. I'll read the copy here. Celebrate in style the Ina Garten way. This snow white coconut layer cake is layered with cream cheese icing and coated in shredded coconut and is guaranteed to be a centerpiece your guests will go crazy for. A hint of almond extract really puts it over the top. I will say that Mitch, we have tasted it also on the podcast, courtesy of our buddy Drew.
Why bowls?
There
There were no plates.
It's gonna work out fine.
All right, that's fair.
We've got some bowls for our cake here.
Courtesy of what?
Courtesy of our buddy Drew McWeeny, we have tasted the Tom Cruise cake on the podcast, also a coconut cake. So we'll see how this celebrity coconut cake compares. But this is Barefoot Contessa's recipe.
The Doughboys can't be bought. Also, I want to just say that Amelia said, would you like for me to present the cake uncut? Was that what your wording?
Yes,
she did say it.
Do you like to, I think you said, would you like me to present the cake uncut?
Yeah, and then she asked if you wanted to perform its bris on camera or not.
You gotta remove the foreskin from the cake, which is the box.
Get rid of the schmegma. You're a freak, Amelia. And of course, you brought up schmegma. I don't love coconut cake.
You don't love coconut cake. Do you like coconut in general?
I'm okay. I'm okay on coconut.
Okay.
Cake. Has this been in the fridge for?
So it was delivered frozen, and then Anya kindly pulled it out of the fridge for me yesterday around noon and put it out of the freezer. And put it in the fridge. So it's been defrosting. So it should be defrosted by now.
It seems
just
defrosted.
Chilled. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm not a big coconut fan myself.
Interesting.
Although I grew up, my dad is a Florida man, and he grew up making lots of coconut cakes.
Wow.
So.
I love coconut.
Florida man also has the Florida man is like the he wasn't a Florida man in that sense. Right?
No. A Florida man in the sense that he is from Florida. I was born in Florida. I'm technically by birth I am a Florida man.
Casey, were you born in Florida?
I was born in Florida also.
Wow.
Okay.
Where?
Broward County.
Okay, I was born in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Wow. Broward County.
I once gave
county.
I don't want the cake.
I once gave a talk. This was in 2016. I gave a talk at a college in Broward County.
Yeah.
And I was like, the talk was basically sort of like, this Trump guy, he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And afterwards, the guy who had reached out to my agent to invite me, he was like, he took me aside. He said, I really like Trump, you know? And I was like, sorry? I don't know who you thought you were bringing to your campus.
Okay, so we can all take a little bit of this cake. I'll show some on camera. Amelia, thank you so much for divvying this up.
Thank you so much,
Amelia. And, not thank you for everything. I want to say this, Wags. The Doughboys can't be bought.
Yes.
We are advertising with Goldbelly. I was supposed to bring some...
bagels.
No. Oh, no. We didn't even bother with the bagels. We thought it was such a big food day. But then it was wrong because we didn't even... Because the barbecue is so bad.
I was excited to pig out on barbecue, and I was just kind of like, all right, I'll eat enough to get a sense of what this is, because it wasn't very good.
The Doughboys can't be bought. We are advertising with Goldbelly. That's the truth.
Yes.
And this got sent to us because of that.
Sure.
But I just want to say, we're not advertising for Goldbelly here.
Right.
In this moment. But I think Goldbelly is a good...
You're saying too much.
It's one of the good ones. It's good.
Doughboys, not bought by Goldbelly, is enjoying a cake brought to us by Goldbelly.
That's what I'm trying to say. Everyone's liking it.
This is really good.
To be fair, we're reviewing the cake, not Goldbelly. So
that's true.
Right. I will say
we also love 5 Floors.
I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ina Garten. I like her show.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to Natalie about this, and she doesn't like that I say this, but I was like, my life I want to is the life of her husband Jeffrey.
Yes.
Who just is
I could see how Natalie would enjoy that.
Who just seems to not do anything, and he just sort of shows up. Is like, "Ooh, what are you cooking?" And he just kind of like minces in there, and then just has like a bite of whatever dish she's prepared.
Like the food appears, and so does he.
Yeah.
Her memoir is super interesting. She had like a really rough childhood and rough life, and like Jeffrey, they have like a really lovely relationship. This is, I think, somewhat more known, but she was like a nuclear policy analyst in the Carter administration,
right?
And Jeffrey was the undersecretary. Jeffrey was the undersecretary of the Treasury under Clinton.
That I didn't know.
And there's a undersecretary for like foreign trade or something under Clinton, because there's a book. Now I'm going to start talking about my job. There's a book I recently read about the Clinton administration that he plays a prominent part as like a policymaker negotiating international trade in the first couple of years of the Clinton administration.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny because like all I know him as is a guy who's like, oh, a cranberry tart, I'll take a bite. Oh. You know, it is that obviously he was a very qualified individual in the government. I do think that her arc is fascinating, and I do envy anyone who's like, hey, I've achieved some level of success, but I just want to do something else, and then they're able to succeed at that. I don't know. That's the dream, right?
This cake is good.
This cake is good.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's like not too sweet. I like looking at a cake sometimes you're like, oh, it's going to be sicky sweet, and I'm only going to want like 1 or 2 bites. It's like perfect.
No, this is wonderful.
There's not too much frosting either, just like the right amount.
After such a letdown with the barbecue, I might finish this whole slice of cake. It's
so even
it's
as
good.
like someone who doesn't like coconut, that's not bothering you.
I'm not like a huge huge coconut guy. I think honestly it's kind of a texture thing for me. I don't like the but also this is fantastic.
This is delightful. I agree with you. This is completely redeemed this as a food day. Like just having this and it's another thing where, you know, a cake is frozen, shipped across the country. You don't know how it's going to hold up, but this defrosted nicely and is
well, you
quite
know what?
delicious.
It worked out perfectly with Gold Belly. We were supposed to review something that I can't say that I forgot how to say it.
Macarons.
Macarons. We were supposed to review some macarons, and I put them on top of my keys.
Yeah.
And we did that audition earlier, and Amelia was like, "Don't forget the macarons," and I was like, "Sure."
They were on top of your keys.
They're on top of my keys, and I managed to, and I like moved them to get my keys and left.
You know what? I understand that. That happens.
It happens. And luckily we had this to go. So
a big time snack for me. This is
a big time snack. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
GoBelly.com/Doughboys. I don't know what the code is. That's really good.
Jamelle, even as a coconut skeptic, you're enjoying this?
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Hey, just like a restaurant about your feedback, let's open the feedback. Today's email is from Tom H. Tom writes, "Hi from New Jersey. I recently saw a discussion on Reddit."
From New York.
Not the Doughboys sub, don't worry. "About whether or not a bowl of cereal with milk can be considered soup. I scoffed at the notion immediately, but since I've been coming around to the idea that cereal might actually, in fact, be soup. So what do you think? I truly cannot wait to hear your thoughts, specifically Mitch's thoughts, on the issue." Thanks, Tom H.
Gazpacho because it's cold.
I guess that's the argument, is that
Emma, great point.
But is gazpacho a soup?
Gazpacho, I think, is a soup, yeah.
Okay, I think this is ridiculous.
He's talking about the whole podcast. He gets up and leaves.
I was here for Slate Political Gab Fest. What the fuck is this? Where's John Dickerson?
So cereal specifically refers to the dry good, right? It's not.
Yeah.
You can have cereal without milk.
Mm-hmm.
Milk is not a necessary part of eating cereal. So it's sort of like adding the milk to the cereal doesn't make it a soup. It's just cereal and milk. Like soup implies that the entire thing is like a unity, right? Like
yes,
soup
is not a dry. Like whatever you want to, however you want to break down the taxonomy of soup. Soup is not dry. It's not a dry dish. Like wetness is inherent to it. And if you're you're saying that all the moisture is coming via the milk, then that's a pretty strong argument against a bowl of cereal with milk being soup.
Amelia was going like you were winning her over with it. It seemed like you were clearly on the side of cereal is soup.
Yeah, you convinced me.
Actually,
no. But it seems like you're gonna say the opposite, though, right? Is that where you're going with this?
I don't think cereal is soup. I don't think a bowl of cereal with milk
I was
is
like,
soup.
full like, yeah, you eat it with a spoon. It's in a bowl. You eat it's soup. And then Jamelle was like, but you can have it without milk. And I was immediately switched back.
Yeah,
like,
it's a very strong argument.
You can't have like, I don't know, chicken noodle soup and just like remove the chicken noodles.
Right.
It would just be you wouldn't.
I mean, now you're kind of winning me back over to the cereal and soup side.
I mean, the other thing is if you went somewhere, and they're like appetizers, a bowl of soup, and they don't tell you what the soup is, soup of the day, and you order it, and they put a bowl of fucking Frosted Flakes in front of you.
Yeah,
I would shoot everyone in the restaurant.
It is a sort of thing of, I think that's a great test. And Mitch, I think this is the thing you've talked about in terms of the hamburger sandwich thing of like, if someone's like, hey,
this is an issue though.
Do you want a sandwich? And you're like, sure. And they bring you a burger. You're kind of like, okay, I get what you're doing, but this is not what I thought of when you offered me a sandwich.
Also, if I asked for a soup and I asked for a sandwich and you brought me a bowl of Frosted Flakes and a burger, I'd love it. I like both of those things, so I would be happy. But specifically,
that's sick.
Yeah, that's like a meal
the
Tom
combo
Hanks
of those
and Big
two,
would eat.
What is that?
That's like a meal Tom Hanks and Big would eat. It's
sure,
like a
eat
grown-up kid meal.
How do you know that I'm not one? How do you know that I didn't make a?
Mitch might have big disease.
I maybe made a wish on Zoltaire. So what do you think of that?
It bigged everything except your hog.
What the fuck?
Zoltaire was specific about that part.
I didn't have to. Yeah. Well, why did I? You think either Zoltaire did that to me, or I specified that I want to keep my hog?
Zoltaire did it to you.
Yeah.
Zoltaire did it to me. That's a good question. How much weight or how much age would I have to lose for my hog to look normal? 39 years, 100 pounds, 39 years, one of the two. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put an end to all of this. A hamburger is a hamburger. A hot dog is a hot dog. It is not a sandwich. A hot dog is not a sandwich. A burger is not a sandwich. A burger is a hamburger is a burger. A hamburger is a burger. Cereal isn't soup. Soup is soup. Gazpacho is a subcategory of soup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramen is a subcategory of soup. And then
I think that's fair.
And then when I said what is better, soup, ramen, pho, it still made sense. I still stand by the.
No, that makes total sense to me because, like, when I think soup, I mean, ramen and pho are soups.
Yes.
But if you say what's better, soup, ramen, or pho, I think of like a traditional Western soup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you.
And
It's like to me, it's like lentil soup or chicken noodle soup versus like whatever ramen or whatever pho you're gonna get. But I think people trying to make this like a hot dog sandwich, it's not gonna happen. It's just not happening.
A hot dog, a taco.
I was just about to ask that.
No.
3 sides.
Have you heard of French tacos?
I have heard about French tacos.
Oh, no,
we talked
I
about this
haven't.
Mitch, you have because I fucking told you about it on the podcast. French tacos is I mean, you can go ahead and explain it, but it's like an Algerian, I believe it's Algerian immigrants in France have like made it into a street food that's become very popular.
Right.
Tacos is plural. They call it a singular tacos, French tacos, and
French
it's basically like flatbread with the halal meat in it, fries, and then like a bechamel sauce,
a cheese sauce.
Yeah.
You can put all kinds of stuff in it. I was reading a New Yorker article about this. I'm going to put on my NPR voice. I was reading a New York article about it, and they talked to some Mexican restaurateurs in France who are fucking furious that this exists.
Oh, my God.
Which is very funny to me.
Especially because the French are so protective of like how you define and label foods there. And then just like for this immigrant cuisine is now like, like, hey, what the fuck? Now they're calling this a tacos. And people come in and are looking for a Mexican taco, and they're disappointed by our offerings.
Yeah. They'll come like they want a French tacos. They'll go to like a Mexican restaurant and order a taco, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
That is
sacre bleu.
I think I read the same New Yorker piece. Yeah, it's
Where did
fascinating.
they get the name tacos from? Is it from like the Mexican version of tacos, or is it from somewhere else and it just happens to like?
I think it might be a weird cultural exchange from the Mexican taco.
Yeah,
because
it kind of looks like it.
They use it's a flour tortilla that they use, so it's not. There's some like genetic connection there.
I think they specify French tacos. This is the thing. You have to say French tacos.
Well, Mitch, this is a thing that'll I think get your attention to rile you up as an Irishman. The number one tacos chain in France is O''tacos.
Okay, I'm pissed off. now they've crossed the line. These fucking frogs. Weiger will always give me the comic section of the New Yorker. I read the comic section, and I'm always like, what the fuck is this shit? I think that we try to. There's things that have been, and this maybe sounds old fashioned. I don't mean it to sound old fashioned. There's things we try to recategorize. It's not going to happen. You can't. French tacos are French tacos now.
Yeah,
it sounds annoying. I'd be annoyed too. That sounds fucking annoying.
You guys should go to France and try it though.
I do want to try it because reading the description, I was like, I bet this is fucking great. I bet there's a reason they love this.
Yeah.
When I was in Vienna and I had a Kaiserkrana.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like a hot dog with cheese in it, and they hollow out the bread, they put it in the bread, and they put the condiments in there, and it's like one of the best hot dog type meals I've ever had in my entire life. Europe does a lot of that stuff better than us, and I don't know why we haven't. We got to steal it. We got to do it. There should be a French taco shop in LA. I don't understand why there's not.
I think where we've all landed is that a bowl of cereal with milk is not soup, and I just generally I think these taxonomical discussions are fun, but you can get very cute with it, and you can all of a sudden you're arguing that
is oatmeal soup
exactly like is a comet a battleship? Like you can try to argue anything, and it's just is a comet a battleship? You know what I mean? It's
a comet from space.
Yeah. It's like you could start arguing you could talk yourself into arguing anything that's ridiculous.
That one works for me.
But at the end of the day, I mean, we know what soup is, and a bowl of cereal with milk is.
Are the Doughboys comedians? Don't worry about it.
I'm just imagining a politician running a campaign. We know what soup is. Cereal is not soup. There are two genders.
Oh man, I was into this guy for a second.
Then he went off on the soup thing. That's Nick. That's my impression of Nick.
If you have a question or comment about the world of chain restaurants, you can email us at feedback@birdfuck.com or leave us a voicemail at 830-GO-DOE. That's 830-463-6844. Our producer is Emma Erdbrink. Our associate producer is Amelia Marino. Our supervising media producer is Casey Donahue. Our video editor is Mike Dorfman. Hey, you can check out our merch at kinshipgoods.com/Doughboys, and you can get the Doughboys Double or Weekly bonus episode plus our entire pre-2018 back catalog. Subscribe at patreon.com/Doughboys. Jamelle Bouie, the best in the biz. People should definitely read you in the New York Times to make sense of our world. It's a regular read for me. I love your writing, and as Mitch mentioned, just incredibly great explaining things and video as well on social media.
I love watching your videos, and I see likes on there of people I know, even from back in Quincy and stuff, and too smart, too nice, and too funny to be on our podcast.
That's the thing. That's always we love having you here. We love we're fans of yours, and we love that you check in with the show. But it still continues to baffle us. But thank you for being a part of it.
And also, can we just say one thing about the politics and the government? Will you fix it? Can you just fix it?
Yeah, fix it.
I'll go get those clowns out of Washington.
All right, thank you.
People should also check out Unclear and Present Danger. Great pod. My wife Natalie, also a big fan of the podcast. People should definitely listen to that. I'm on an episode discussing Executive Decision, which was a lot of fun.
A movie where Steven Seagal gets got. It's very funny.
It rules. But please plug away, and thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Thank you guys for the kind words. You can find me at the Times. I understand the Times is controversial, so if you don't want to pay for the Times, I don't care. I just work for them. If you follow me on Blue Sky, I always post free links to my stuff at the Times, so that's how you can get around it. And then, I'm on TikTok and on Instagram and Blue Sky and the podcast. And you should also, I'll plug my co-host John Gantz's book, When the Clock Broke. It's about 1992 in American politics. It's very illustrative and illuminative of the current period in American politics. So I highly recommend John's book.
Wow.
And yeah.
When I think of how the world is crazy and you're one of the good forces in the world, so thank you for doing what you do. That is the truth.
Thank you.
It's the truth. I hope that things get better for your line of work soon.
I do. Listen, I do too. Don't want to be in El Salvadoran gulag personally.
We won't allow that. The Doughboys will not allow that.
Hopefully, we still have freedom of the press.
Hey, on that note, I'll do it for this episode of Doughboys. Until next time.
Hey, you know what? The Dough Army will stand up for you, or we'll be there with you. One of the two.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this episode of Doughboys. Until next time for the Speed Rabbi Mitchell. I'm Tiger Wagger. Happy eating.
See ya.
That was a Headgum podcast.